Hello, and welcome to another episode of XenoChat. I am Tyler, one of the hosts, along with Justin.
What's up, everyone?
All right, and for this very special Xenoblade 3 focused episode we got here, got several guests with us today. First up, we have Anthony.
Hello.
And Mary.
Hello.
Nick.
Tyler?
Oh,
Hello.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
hear you now.
Oh, I didn't hear Nick. Sorry. And Chris. Yeah, I did.
Hi.
Oh.
I didn't hear you call my name. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is a great intro.
Alright, so now we know that Nick is here.
Okay, cool. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yo, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, we're all here.
Alright. Yes, we are.
Yes. So, yes, we are here to discuss the second Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer, which released the other day, along with the bombshell that instead of September, it's coming out in July.
Yep.
Now,
Hell
before
yeah.
Yeah, before we can get into that, we can go to our little figure corner that we've kind of had in these news episodes lately. So along with Xenoblade 3 coming out in July, we are also getting the Melia figure, Weltall ID, and the Siren re-release. All are coming out in July.
Wow.
So it's really going to be a Xeno-specific month where we're all going to be poor.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
actually in July this year.
Yep. And if you want more Xeno merch, as of right now, you can actually still buy Cosmos Re on Ami. And something I'm noticing right now, I don't know if this is still going to be in stock by the time this episode is up, but you can actually buy the Rhine keychain for Definitive Edition for 40 yen. It's on sale. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that is an error or a glitch, because that is significantly cheaper than all the other Xenoblade keychains on there.
It's right time, baby.
Yeah.
You can buy Ryan's credit card information.
Can you imagine it's on the back of that? You can just use that to pay for also the other stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. But man, it is nuts that this is coming out in July now. And also, like, that is the same day that Digimon Survive is coming out as well.
Oh, rip.
I was so excited for Survive, and honestly, it's just pure defeat at this point. But we're getting Xenoblade, so
Yep, and then the week before that, I believe, is when the Live Alive remake comes out. So
yeah, I want to pre-order that too. And I'm just like, will my wallet be able to take more? Because I basically pre-ordered all of the figurine we mentioned. So
yeah,
A
so
lot
my
of
wallet's
living and
gonna
surviving.
die.
so like say goodbye to your money and your social life, because I don't know how I'm gonna juggle all because these are all games I want, and I don't know how I'm gonna juggle all of them. And then we have Trails from Zero coming out later on too,
In
and
September,
it
I
is
think.
oof. Yeah, there's just so much coming out in these next couple months. They are packed, and we also have the Eye to Somnium File sequel coming out soon too. Just
True.
too much stuff.
I forgot that was this
Yes.
summer.
There's
It
that
wasn't
coming
there also
out.
that Atlas game? What was it called? The one with the green-haired girl, I think.
Soul Hackers 2?
Yeah, that's
Right. There
also
is
looks
Soul
really sick.
Hackers too.
Oh,
That
fuck,
is
I
also
forgot that's
coming
coming. Oh my god.
Yeah,
What
that
time
is-
do I have?
You are not having any time. And there's another game that I'm actually really interested in called Yudu Kill. That's on NIS's website, and that's like if 999 were mixed with like a bullet hell shooter.
Wow.
So it looks really, really interesting. I definitely want to check that out. And of course, there's also Kiki Kai Kai or Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. That's coming out. And that game looks amazing. That just dropped in Japan. I imported a copy, and it's on its way. Can't wait to play that. I might even stream that, but I won't get into that later.
Don't forget Fire Emblem is also coming out like a month
my God.
before this too.
Oh
That's
my
right. I completely forgot about Fire Emblem.
Like the end of the year doesn't have a lot, but right this summer is gonna be
Yeah,
This
this is gonna be a
summer,
crazy
this
summer.
fall, like both summer and fall are gonna be really, really.
It's gonna be a real
packed.
crazy summer. But yeah,
We're not even
Xenoblade coming out in
E3 yet.
July. Some people think that part of the reason why they put it out is because Splatoon's coming out in September. But the theory that I like is that Nintendo quickly put out the Xenoblade trailer to distract folks from the leak.
Yeah.
The infamous NSO leak, which I like that theory.
I thought that.
I feel like though my only issue with that theory is I feel like Xenoblade 3
rolls off the tongue better.
I feel like Xenoblade 3 is more of like a big like surprise than Game Boy Advance being on NSO. Like I feel like there's more more at stake to protect Xenoblade 3 than there would be to protect that.
But I
See,
think
you say that? Ooh, sorry.
I'm wondering if they did not, maybe like since it was like so ready, maybe like they just happened to be able to release it earlier. But also, I feel like if it was released a bit later, it could have trouble again getting into some awards and stuff. And maybe now that it's earlier, it'll be able to get into some awards a bit easier.
Monolith Soft's like a baker. Like, oh, you got to get it while it's fresh. We already got done with it.
I will say though, it's weird to see a game gets pushed up as opposed to pushed
really
back.
strange.
Especially
a big game like this.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried about the stability at launch. I'm not gonna lie.
That's exactly what I'm getting to. I'm hoping that this game is gonna release in a better state than say Xenoblade 2 at launch.
Well, especially, do you guys remember that one leak that actually was like mostly right, like last year, where it was saying Melia would be back, we'd have more party members on screen, and they were talking all about all that. They said it was having issues meeting a winter date. So I want to believe it's just been ready for a while, but at the same time, it's alarming. It's a little bit alarming, but I'm just going to be excited that it's coming and hope it works well in TV mode at the very least.
Yeah, I think the only thing that does make me a bit worried is the fact that the special edition is gonna be only on the Nintendo store, but also they mentioned something about like they're gonna ship the copy singular and then they're gonna ship the stuff from Japan that normally would go in the pack separated. I've read that somewhere. And
it looks like it's releasing on the original release date. So the game was pushed, but the actual collector's stuff is still on the original date.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, so you're gonna make people who live really far from you pay 2 shipping? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit weird. I heard that was for Japan. I don't know if that was confirmed for North America.
I think
it was. They did say it would be shipped in 2 shipments. But like at the same time, it's like it's already gonna be super hard to get. But then like shipping costs is like crazy, and it's just like God.
I'm also wondering if this will be available at Nintendo New York. I'm really curious to see.
If it is, and I don't manage to secure one, please save me and get one.
I'm gonna try to do that because
drop them. Just steal a few, please.
Just track down the truck.
Honestly,
hijack it.
I need you to do that as well.
Weltall and XenoChat, please. I would like to buy 10 copies of the special edition for all my friends.
But yeah, that's gonna happen in July. I'm gonna be paying attention to the Nintendo online store and also Nintendo New York, so that I can be on the lookout for all of that. And I want to hopefully go to Nintendo New York on release day if possible, because they always have like cool stuff there for first party releases.
Though I feel like if the special stuff is only coming in September, I feel like we're going to see the special boxes only past that in the Nintendo store, which sucks. But it's bad.
I can't believe I live in a world where Nintendo can't get these together. It's like I can't trust them to like distribute something strictly from their own website.
I can't trust them at all because like every single time they did their limited release on their website, I was not able to get a single thing. Like there's like 10 stock and you have like 5,000 like a couple hundred people, 100,000 people wanting the thing. It's just like, yeah.
There's got to be a better way they could do this, because I have a feeling that probably one of the excuses they're using is to make it quote unquote easier for us to get, because like the Metroid Dread special editions was impossible to get, in my experience at least. The only reason I was even able to get that was because a friend just happened to get 2 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
But was,
I could not find that
special
thing.
edition on the Nintendo store only, or was it on?
No, that was in like retail, and
Okay.
they were selling out.
Retail,
Yeah, and they were selling out
yeah.
like left and right. As soon as it went up, people were buying them.
Yeah, but it just, what I'm worried about is that if they do a thing where like you can order and they do the amount per the demand, that's okay. But I've seen Nintendo do this in the past, and they usually just release only a certain amount of quantity, and then when it's gone, it's gone. You can never have this ever again.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's weird that I can trust NIS America to get this stuff to me just fine.
Yes,
Right?
because they
And not
announce it
Nintendo.
early. The thing with NIS America is that they announce it early and they mention the stock as
Right?
it goes on their
See,
Twitter.
They're
I
very
think, like-
transparent about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like people don't realize that NAS has like an online store, because there's stuff on there that I would have totally expected to have sold out in like 5 minutes that are still up.
Also,
They
I like
probably
that
don't
Facebook
believe in
Texas is
false
closer to
scarcity.
me. Thank you.
What'd you say, Chris?
Oh, I was
Yeah.
saying they probably don't rely as much on false scarcity as Nintendo does, because
Mm.
Nintendo loves some false scarcity.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
at
you're
the same time,
totally right.
NIS, you gotta think that they're also in Texas. So for a lot of people, the shipping cost might be too much. Like, even for me, like buying a t-shirt there, I would not be like, it would not be something I would do because it cost me like nearly $50 just in shipping. So just like, yeah, for a
Yeah.
collector game, sure. But for a t-shirt or some small merch, unless I'm bundling and bunched together, it's not worth it.
The only position in which I'm lucky about where like I live, because the craziest thing, I still can't believe that I got like East 9 a day earlier than its release date because of my proximity to them.
Yeah, you're really, really close to them.
Anyways, I guess before we go off on a bigger tangent of this, let's get back to the trailer itself. There's a lot in this trailer, and I know like Twitter has been tearing this thing apart and analyzing every single little frame. We're not going to do that. We're not that crazy, but we are going to talk about our thoughts about it and things that kind of stood out to us. And yeah, we'll just kind of take it from there. I mean, obviously, our first thoughts is that it's freaking Xenoblade 3, bro. That looks awesome. We're going to play it. We're going to buy it.
Yeah, and like, we're still kind of all mind blown it's coming this year, but now it's coming like 2 months early. And just like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This trailer kind of just blindsided everybody. I just remember I woke up, I logged on, and then I saw like Nintendo tweeted a Xenoblade 3 trailer, and I'm like, what? And then I posted in the Discord, I'm like, guys,
Yeah, you were
Wake up, gamers! We got a trailer!
yeah,
you were the first one that I heard about the trailer, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was at fucking work, and I saw the trailer kind of while going to the bathroom, and then had to work for like 7 hours trying to process while only watching that once and seeing people's reactions on like Discord, and that was an experience, I'll tell you that.
I had to catch up on a lot of messages because I didn't look at Discord for like the first few hours of work.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think
oh,
I watched it. I think I watched it at noon because like that was the only time I could actually watch it, and I was like, "Whoa!" I wasn't sure how to process the whole thing, but I said I was still a bit bummed too about the whole Nintendo Store thing. But like, I'm a bit more calm about it, and like I was able to process more of that stuff. And like that trailer is really amazing. There's so much in it. It's just,
Can I just throw out like a random thought here?
yeah.
Like regarding like what we've seen so far.
Do it.
I just want to say, I mean, and yeah, this goes for all Monolith design, but I wish other developers could make as amazing looking of like desert environments as Monolith does. Because
Just wait for the music.
Yeah, like usually I see a desert environment and I've seen some cases in which it's like really good, but a lot of times I'm like, this isn't doing a lot for me. Monolith is one of those few like companies that can actually do something for me with that. The other place that I've seen it work for me was like in Journey, like the Sony game.
Yes.
That game company, yeah. Like that was a desert that like really got me. But I've seen a lot of really boring desert environments too. And Monolith like never fails to impress me with those.
Monolith
You're
never
right.
fails to impress in any type of world environment
That's
looking
true.
thing. Like they're like master at the thing.
Yeah.
So I want to just kind of jump on. Well, I hate to go out of order, but the thing that I was most excited about was the Ouroboros forms, which
Oh yes,
it's debatable
Yeah,
whether
actually,
you could
there's
call
something
those
about the Ouroboros forms that I really want to mention real fast before we get into this.
Oh, go on.
So I'm noticing that there are points where the party members have their left eyes or their right eyes glowing. And what I'm thinking is that there are going to be multiple Ouroboros forms, but in order to make a Ouroboros, there has to be a left, somewhat like the characters that can merge. One will have a left eye and one will be a right eye.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
thinking that's kind of where they're going with that. So not every character will be like two characters with a right eye are not going to be able to merge.
Right.
But I'm thinking that's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, that's what they're going for, because you already notice that in the pairings, pretty much right and left. Like there's no right and right or left and left.
Yes, and we do already have some of the pairings already that was shown. So like it's Noah and Mio, Tyon and Uni, and Senna and Lance.
Something has me not as optimistic that we'll get more forms. I don't know, especially because we have the main six. They have their they have their own relationships and the fusions, and then all the rest is fusion guest party characters. I feel like if we were gonna get more, it would have been through the introduction of more characters.
I think we're gonna get. I think those are gonna be the main ones we're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't surprise me if we get an upgraded form of them later on.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but I think it's gonna be mostly those characters. One thing that's nice is that if you notice, it looks like we're gonna get most of the main cast fairly early on.
Yeah,
like there was footage where I think everybody was like level 13.
Yeah,
and it had like the 6 main characters in it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
it's very different from what everyone was theorizing, to be honest.
Judging by like the trailers, it looks like things kind of start off with enough of a bang where I could see like all the characters just kind of getting together really early in some sort of clash, and then things going from there.
And then I guess they just all run together away from whatever
I like that too.
is happening. Yeah,
because it's like it's kind of nice that we get to see everybody from the get go and kind of just go on one long adventure with everybody. Because like what always ends up happening is you get characters too late, and then they don't have enough time to get any character development. So like people get shafted. So it looks like they might be able to mitigate that issue somewhat by having them all come a lot earlier on.
True.
And the nice thing is they can still have that feeling of like meeting new people, but they're guest characters that you're meeting throughout the game that have relevant story arcs, and then they can leave. Compared to before, where you start off with 3 characters, add one on, and then the 7th character they get added by the end of the game, and it's like, oh, you're out of time. Sorry.
And maybe having all the characters from the start will allow for like some other mechanic, like maybe there's some form of growth that isn't like the normal for this series for each character, that is like another form of progression that they can use to make up for like the whole formula of things like progress and you get this other character, so you get to mess with this other gameplay mechanic now. Maybe they'll do that like in a different way this time. That would be like really interesting.
It definitely looks like they're doing that with the Ouroboros, because if you look at the level scaling for when they first start to appear, they're definitely spaced out. So maybe each of them will bring their own things and increase the battle complexity.
So. I think so, because each Ouroboros seem to have their own leveling aside from regular character leveling from what I've seen.
And they all had different versions of different stages of the driver combo. So I could see it being that you don't fully unlock that until you get all of them, because which this is kind of a tangent. It looks like both branches are here, so you can go break, topple, and then you can either go into days or you can go into launch.
Mhm.
So maybe that can also open things later on. But I don't know. Monolith does fine. They'll probably manage having all 6 from the start and still make gameplay develop in a natural way.
I do enjoy launch. That is one that I hope comes back.
Yes.
I just want it to be slightly less awkwardly animated. It's funny. It is.
It is
But
funny.
I want it to look better and funny. I don't know. As I'm replaying, I'm like, ooh, I forgot how that looked.
It is really funny when you do it on like a major boss character.
Oh, I did it to Jen just recently in one of the later chapter fights, and it definitely took all the seriousness out.
It's like the Mario Kart 64 like thing where they're falling down a hill and they just like roll in every direction possible at once. It is what I remember it looking like.
It's also interesting that these characters have what this game's going to call blades. It's like they're actually the weapons now.
Mhm.
Can we stop the use of blade in every game, though, with a different term? It's confusing people when I tell people about this series.
Yeah, and like it doesn't help that you'd be surprised how many people thought that like Pyra and Mithra were swords.
Oh yeah.
So
and then they're
it's
actually
like
kind of like microchips.
I was confused
like
by
computers.
that. I thought that they were swords too, and I later found out that that's not. They're actually people.
They're people. They
They're
have a
people
weapon
channeling
attached to them,
energy
kind of.
to the
Yeah.
weapon,
Yeah.
basically.
Join blade.
It's basically a person that comes in the combo with a weapon that you can use.
But it's also awesome how the Ouroboros forms were designed by Choco of Xenosaga and Xenoblade X.
Yeah, and also talking about those looks, like I find like the Tyon and the Yudi one looks a bit like Zebulon if it was a bit older.
Yeah.
It looks like Zebulon mixed with like I forget the name of it, but Risei's persona from Persona 4, or maybe it's her Evolve persona. It's actually really cool. I won't lie. That's probably my favorite of the 3.
Yeah, and the Mio and Noah one makes me think as if it was like Weltall and the main Evangelion mech merged together.
Yeah, I think I
Unit one.
immediately thought of Eva Yuta one when I saw that trailer.
It's got the Oni motif going again.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Also, on the topic of Choco and the Ouroboros forms, these look a lot like the I don't know if you guys have looked through Art of Mira, but there's art of the Ares mech, like stripped down without the armor, and it looks a lot like it. Like, oh.
I've never looked at that book in my life. Why would you suggest that?
Come on, Nick, stop slacking.
I was
But no.
I looked at the book, but I think I would need to pull out the picture to actually remember because there's just so much designs.
If I remember, I can dig it up, but I'm not going to do it right now.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But I think it's interesting because before I already had been kind of theorizing that maybe a lot of the X ideas, since we don't have a sequel still all these years later, were maybe being recycled into this.
Yeah.
And now that I see that, I am even more on that boat. So I'm excited to see what they do. And I think regardless, whatever happens with them is going to end up being batshit insane.
Yeah, and
'cause it
honestly,
already is.
I'm really looking forward to exploring this new world that's basically the worlds we've known before kind of merged together with new elements. Like, I'm just gonna point left and right. I know this. I know this. Oh, I know this. Oh, I see this cameo you did there. Good job, Oliver.
Well, and
I'm
that
also wondering if there's going to be more interconnectivity in the worlds, personally. But
True.
Well, that also ties into the OGX stuff because it was like, which is also from art in the book, but it looks like it's a bunch of planets ripped, or a bunch of sections of planets ripped off and mashed together. So I'm wondering, I mean, we already kind of see that, but I want to see more of the like fine details because we see concept art and we see certain areas. But like you can see the tail, at least it's kind of, this is actually something that you guys can maybe without spoiling, it's weird that we see the tail of the Gormati Titan like alive and moving in that one shot where they're. I think it's the first battle scene. We're in the grasslands and you can see it's like fins and it's moving with that blue glow. But I want to see more of that stuff. I want to see them actual mashing together because it's interesting.
I think it's interesting for sure.
So have we confirmed or speculated at all if whether or not Xenoblade 3 is going to take place on the backs of Titans like the first game did?
I think it's kind of confirmed it's not, but also I can't really go into that big of an answer without spoiling you on 2.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's a lot of
no more, fam.
that could be a very mixed answer in general because it looks like a lot of things could have like come together and congealed in general, I guess, is the best way to put it.
So there's someone on Twitter who made an interesting point about like Xenoblade 3 and what they've seen, and they were concerned that Xenoblade 3 isn't going to have as much of an identity since it seems like a lot of it is taking elements of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 and kind of just smushing them together.
Have they seen the art of the world? Because it's not that similar to me.
So far so good. I think they meant it just mostly like on the concept of just like, okay, we're kind of bringing everything together. Like, you know, the key art you see, you see part of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2's world, and you know, obviously we're going to be seeing like the same kind of people, the same races in this game as well. So their concern was like, you know, they hope that Monolith does enough to really make this one stand out on its own and not just kind of just cherry pick parts from 1 and 2.
Honestly, it's Monolith. I'm not worried.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about 2, and look what they did.
I'm willing to give Monolith the benefit of the doubt. I just kind of was curious to see what you guys think about that.
I really felt the exact same about 2 because I was excited, but I was also with the mindset of why is there a sequel? And then we find out things that it wasn't a sequel, and then we find out more later on. But they proved me wrong, and they'll find a way to make this game worth it. They've done it with every single game they've done so far and every single world they've done so far. So I'm not concerned, but I do think once you're 3 games in, that does get to be a valid concern, I guess.
I mean, it's not like Monolith has ever like reinvented their concepts before.
I mean,
my only thoughts is that sequels being reliant on other entries in a series is okay. That's fine. There's nothing.
Not everything has to be Final Fantasy. Yeah, you're right.
Which is actually funny. Well, I think Tyler's been waiting to talk though before I say something.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Let's give Tyler his turn.
I was just gonna say, I mean, if Tetsuya Takahashi can be trusted, he did say in an open letter that even though it is a conjoining of the first 2 games, it is possible for new players to be able to jump into this one, but we'll see if we can trust him on that. That's all I had to say.
Yeah,
I think I would trust him.
I think they'll be able to enjoy it. Do I think they will understand a lot of the stuff at the end that they like to do? No. But do they need to? No, because let's be honest, most people who played Xenoblade 2 probably didn't spend their time theorizing about all the stuff at the end.
Well,
for the casual fan, I think they'll be fine.
But that's the thing about these games. Like, this whole series has been like that, where it's like, oh, you play this game, and there's something in here that like hints just enough at this. Now you want to go back and play the other
exactly
game. Pretty much.
They're really good at interweaving them in a way that do that.
Which it's probably going to make Xenoblade 2 outsell this game because it already jumped in sales because of Smash, and this game is probably going to make 2 sales jump up even more.
Yeah, like there's enough winks and nods typically in all of these that they're like, yeah, I mean, you don't have to get it, but you know, you're gonna want to.
I wonder if that means they're gonna do maybe after Xenoblade 3 releases, if they're gonna do more prints of Xenoblade 2.
I hope so. I know right now they're having a promo where you get double coins if you buy the Xenoblades digitally.
Yeah, but that's digital, but like the physical woods are getting a bit rare. So I think it'd be cool if they did a reprint, a bit like what happened in the past sometimes.
Yeah, I think it'll be great if they do it.
It would be nice, but I do notice they do a lot of I almost said Digimon too. Xenoblade 2 tends to be a very good boost for the voucher program in Japan. So I almost feel like making more physical would go against that, because it tends that often whenever it goes really, or once it gets back on the charts, often coincides with voucher sales. So I would like that, because I know a lot of people couldn't get the physical copy, and now it's like over $100 to get it used.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see Nintendo being a little stingy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Or
it
we've
happened in
done
the past with
reprints
previous
before. It's
entries.
entirely possible that with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, they might do a reprint of 2.
Like, like when I bought Xenoblade Cross, actually the guy behind the counter was like, "Hey, we received some copies of Xenoblade 1 on the Wii reprinted." And I was like, I already have it, but thank you? Question mark.
Oh man, Xenoblade 1 reprints. Check out our anniversary episode when we talk about that. I had a lot to say about that one.
Yes. That was a good discussion.
But I hope they do it. Another thing that'd be cool is if they end up adding the expansion pass to NSO. Because they just announced that they're putting Octo expansion on there. So that got me thinking, that'd be cool if like Xenoblade 2 Torna is included on that too.
I honestly think that whatever Xenoblade 3 expansion patch is coming is going to be coming on that, because we've had Animal Crossing came onto it.
Yes.
Alongside Mario Kart, which are two massive games for sales for them.
Ones. Yes.
So I think they may do that, because that's a good way to get people into the NSO, because they need more reasons, to be honest.
Yes, and they did confirm that Blade 3 is going to have DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is in the ESRB rating.
You want to get costumes outside of class outfits, you better pay DLC.
Huh. I hope it's like the Xenoblade 2 expansion pass, because for my money, that's probably the best season pass that's ever come out.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that added so much stuff to Xenoblade 2. Like,
it did.
Xenoblade 2 was already a game that you can get, like, hundreds of hours out of, but then the expansion pass comes along, and it's just like, here's all this new content.
Honestly,
that was so much.
Even just the Torna aside, expansion pack content in there was still ridiculously worth the money, and then they added Torna, which I didn't expect to be as long as it was for the price in the expansion pass. It's still short, but if they can do anything near that, that would be nice. But at the same time, I kind of want to hope that Monolith wasn't under a situation again where they had so much they wanted to do, and they had to cut things for DLC because of time restraints, like what happened with Xenoblade 2, because we know that whole story with them trying to release Year 1 for Switch.
Yeah,
I still got like a good 50 hours out of Torna. And that was like, I get that I was like doing a bunch of extra stuff, but like that's more than most AAA games.
Yeah, I mean, I got 30 hours my first playthrough, and I was doing all the side quests and everything, and still played it in New Game Plus.
Yeah, I went for the golden stuff.
I did get to about 30 hours as well.
All right, so back on the trailer. I know that the trailer opens up with like a new character named Ethel, and I think it's really interesting. She has like that red eye, right? And then she's looking at our protagonist, and they got that weird shadow effect. It's almost like the minor future connected spoilers, but it's almost like the fog in that.
There's minor Xenoblade 2 spoilers too. That one, I'm not going to be as vague as possible for Anthony, but that one boss fight where they keep summoning further versions and say Reverbero over and over and over again.
Oh, chapter 7.
Yeah. Wow, 7, thank you.
I was thinking of Eco.
No, but no,
I was thinking of Eco the game with the shadow, the shadow people. But yeah, like it looks like there's some crazy mind manipulation stuff going on. Judging by the flashing to shadow people and her eye like having a slight red glow coming off the top of it.
And I mean, and who didn't think of Cosmos when they first saw her?
Yeah,
people were saying Cosmos. Some people were saying it was Poppy Cutie Pie, which is funny.
Okay.
Can I go into my mild theory about this, or is it too early to go?
No, go for it.
So, it kind of has their forms kind of have a little bit of a vibe of the Gnosis, while also that one boss that we're trying to be vague about. And we also know that a lot of people, I haven't finished Future Connected, so this is me going off of what people have said, but it seems to be common that Fog King seems to be a lot like Gnosis,
Yep.
at least
Yeah.
scientifically.
Yeah.
So
very much
my
so.
idea is basically similar to past games, maybe the Ouroboros, especially since they go into like a yellow unconscious domain type of area when they're fusing. Maybe it's something to do with that higher dimension, so those
Yeah, pretty
forms
much.
that she's seeing are maybe like tainted by interfering with that dimension.
Mhm.
Kind of like, couldn't they like smell Udu on people in Saga or something? Was that something Albedo did? Was it smelling, or did he just sense it?
I mean, that sounds more like something Virgil would do, but I feel like it was probably more like a sense, yeah.
I don't know. But basically, I'm thinking those forms that she's seeing may have something to do like that. How accurate that will be based on a 3-minute trailer with a
Yeah,
2-second
but at the
shot.
same time,
Eh.
Listen, I doubt this is just me, but like the whole thing about the soldiers only typically living like 10 years or something like that. What was that about? Because
Oh,
like
so actually,
whenever I
so
heard that brought up, I just thought, oh, Ouroboros, the endless cycle versus this very temporary like form of living. It's like the Wilhelm versus. Oh wait, should I talk about that? I was just gonna say Wilhelm versus Chaos all over
oh,
again, but you know,
well, so about the 10 years thing, and this is also kind of a tangent, but she's kind of related, so this helps us gauge time and stuff. So they only live for 10 years. But we already were talking about weird age shit, like how, what's his name? The Machina guy who I thought was gonna die.
you mean
Lance.
Lance?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he's a Machina, but he's like 18
Well-
years old. You have high Entias that are the same age, but they're all like the same level of maturity. Was this something where, like, maybe these were, because it mentioned specifically soldiers, not like people of the world. We don't play the game, so we
Yeah.
don't know if like normal people don't have this, or if they're just saying soldiers and it's actually everyone.
Maybe like that tattoo they have is a mark of death. Who knows?
That's what I think. That's what I
Yeah.
said in the first episode.
Oh,
So
okay.
if that's right, I would really like that. But essentially, I'm genuinely curious if, like, once you're conscripted into military service in order to use the weapons that they summon by fire, maybe it's the flame clocks, maybe they are genuinely just, like, using their life energy to be able to fight, and it maxes out at 10 years.
Do you think they're all flame clocks? Because based on the trailer, like it's saying it's the flame clock. I
Yeah.
thought there was like maybe there's different elements for each clock.
Yeah, there
or
could be
something.
different clocks.
But they
Yeah.
also all summon their weapons with fire, so I'm kind of like,
Oh, okay.
Eh.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's something. Yeah.
I don't know. But also, I think flame clock wasn't the term in Japanese. I think there were a bunch of different terms, and then there's also overclock and all sorts of things. We're telling time here, but essentially, I'm genuinely curious, especially because we have the whole thing with them like sending off the dead. So, why would we do this in the first place? What benefit does reducing your entire soldier's lifespan to 10 years offer in this war? Like, what's the catch? Because all I see are negatives.
Yeah, I could imagine it being like attached to like usefulness with the blades over that
Mhm.
period of time or something like that.
But then it also kind of implies, because I mean, it's only been they have 10-year lifespan. These people are over the age of 10. It almost kind of implies that whatever mashing there was is maybe more recent, and time hasn't been passing in this world as long.
Yeah, maybe like if like there's a thing where if it's like a lot of people are kind of thinking where it's all like a worlds collide thing, which I mean, there's a lot of evidence for. I could see there being something where just a lot of things about their ages in general are unstable because of like the mismashing of like blades and whatever human races there are and such.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even
But
if they're
also-
even the same as they used to be in the first place, because we don't even know that for sure.
Yeah, but also there's something I want to mention. Like, if we tread back to like their Ouroboros form, or rather like the general fact that they can connect to that dimension.
Yeah.
Like you know, like how this I think it was the Vandom dude that was like saying something about you kids are pretty much like the only hope we have
Hmm.
with the will of Ouroboros. So I feel like they gotta go and try to do something with the will of this universe or whatever, and just I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get
A nod.
another world reset.
Okay, a tangent, and we can talk about this since Anthony's played one. I kind of
Yeah.
don't want to rely on the world reset thing again. We can't have that cutscene again. It doesn't. We did it twice.
True.
It can't be shocking anymore. So while I like the stuff with Zanza and Claude, can we leave it?
It seems like they're gonna be retreading on some of that because the giant monster dude that looks like Graph, he specifically mentions the passage of fate.
Well, I think they can do. I think they can go into that stuff without having to focus on the reset.
Okay.
I have a feeling though it's
We're
gonna be
probably gonna go in.
it's
Yeah,
probably gonna go into it though. But
Yeah,
No.
we're probably gonna go into
Let
it.
Zanza be dead, please. That's exactly what I don't want. I'm mostly just scared that even if he's in some monstrous form, I don't want it. I'm okay with following up on the stories, but I really don't want to tread that again. It's kind of like when Xenoblade 2 happened and Mithra had foresight. I was like, oh no, please no more like visions and stuff. And they left it in the past, so it was fine.
But why not? Why not? Visions are fun.
They are, but plot-wise, I feel like I don't know. I think Xenoblade is better off not fully going into that. Is what I'm saying.
something tells me that Vision's gonna come back in this game, but it'll be a little bit different. I have a feeling they'll bring the mechanic back in some way, shape, or form. Because one thing I do like about Xenoblade 2 is that when they did bring Vision back, it did function a little bit differently.
Yes, it was just like a well. Are you talking Schultz Vision or are you talking Foresight?
I'm talking Schultz Vision.
Yeah, I liked that version more, and it also didn't affect plot. Because in 1, it affected plot, and it was fine in 1, don't get me wrong, and it was fine when it was used in 2, like the 1 or 2 times. But it's kind of that thing where you've gone through it already, so is it going to affect you the same way a second time, and then a third time? So, gameplay-wise, I think it would be fun. I don't want Noah having visions and then being anxious about things happening in the future, because we already treaded that. I don't know. If it does come back, keep it to gameplay is essentially my point. make it that they have like visions of their past, which I think, I guess we can tangent. I do think there's going to be visions of the past like constantly, maybe in like near-death moments and stuff like that, especially because we see that one scene where Uni's about to get stabbed. And she's...
stab.
I had a point. I lost my point. We can tangent though. If anyone else had anything to say about that, I was already talking about vision, so we can talk about the elephant in the room with that one vision, or the big blue planet in the background.
I was just thinking about how everyone jumped off the Uni train and onto the Ethel train as soon as she came.
I'm still on the Uni train.
I'm on the Ethel train.
No, that's great.
No, I'm on both. It's okay.
That's great. Everyone left that one and went to the Ethel train.
Ethel and
all the horny people left for Ethel, and now I get to enjoy Uni without feeling uncomfortable about other people.
There you go.
I actually haven't seen that much Ethel art. People are starting to do it, but it's not. They didn't jump on her the way they did with Uni.
I started seeing a lot of them. To be honest,
I'm seeing more icons than I'm seeing art.
She's getting Tyrea'd already.
God.
Kion needs more attention.
He does.
But
when people draw him, it's great.
Attention.
Me too.
I really hope he gets a lot of plot focus.
Which,
Me too.
because I did notice like how the characters can swap outfits based on class. Because I saw Noah wearing Kion's outfit. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing?
That's interesting. So, kind of a segue on that. I don't think they're wearing the outfits. I think the characters are wearing class outfits, and each of them have their own version, because Noah's Tyon outfit has short sleeves, and then his tank top underneath. and so on and so on.
Okay.
So I think that maybe what's kind of like, you know how in Fire Emblem when they class change, they have similar outfits, but they're different colors.
That's
I guess they took
basically
the
their
opposite
uniform,
way.
basically.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that, or like almost like the job system in the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I
Or
was
Bravely
thinking.
Default. Bravely Default.
Yeah, Bravely Default as well. That's another
Yeah.
great example.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Don't
I
tell
like
me
that.
that. I wanted to put Tyon and Seina's outfit. Jeez.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so they were cowards. They were cowards a little bit because you put Noah in like Uni's outfit and stuff, and he's just wearing his normal pants and turtleneck, and I'm like,
Seriously?
no, cowards! I wanted a full bodysuit. Come on.
Nope. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, he needs a bodysuit with the boob window.
No.
Come
Noah.
on.
Do you guys
Noah
think we're
in
not
the belly
getting-
shirt. Come on.
Do you guys think we're not going to get Fashion Blade Chronicles?
Oh, I'm really thinking no if they can swap outfits like this.
Yeah.
But I
Taking
think
it slow.
DLC. I think we're gonna get DLC outfits
Yeah,
again,
we'll,
like how
we'll,
two had.
we'll definitely get like swimsuits.
Dude, what if it's Paradigm Shift from Final Fantasy 13?
Oh, goodness.
I kind of wish we
I just
still
made
had
a
the
lot of people
fashion,
mad.
though. I really wish we still had the fashion though, because I really like being able to mix and match
Yes. that
outfit
was-
parts on the
Yeah, I thoroughly
customizable
enjoyed
place.
that too in the first game.
Yeah,
At the
that's one of
very
the
least.
things that Zoid
Same.
2 kind of dropped the ball on.
At least the designs are more consistently liked outfit wise than the designs for 2, where
Mhm.
people had to put up with the outfit for 2, whether they like them or not. While in 1, if you didn't like it, you could just change the outfit.
Yeah.
Here, most people seem to like these outfits, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely not as like over the top as 2, and I've seen some people say that these outfits are bland, and usually it's because again it's not as like ridiculous and out there as some of 2's are. But I think they found like a nice little middle ground. Personally, I really like I like Tyon's outfit. for
Oh,
Oh, I
example.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I think it
Justin,
looks great.
Justin Rix's outfit is stupid. He's a salvager. He would never wear a diving suit.
Oh my goodness. Actually, that'd be cool. See, that'd be a cool DLC thing where you can unlock like a salvager class and they dress up like Rex. That would be awesome. See that, Monolith? I'm giving you guys ideas for your season pass.
Wait,
Oh,
that
wait.
could. Oh, that's a cool idea. What if the DLC costumes were like for past characters, so you could unlock arts? Because we do have some arts from those characters. But
Mhm.
like, for example, we have Mega Spinning Edge, so I doubt we'd have something like Double Spinning Edge as well. So what if you could unlock those classes, and any arts that weren't from that you could unlock with the past effects? Like having a crit recharge attack like that again would be really
Yeah.
nice.
I was gonna say, I know I saw some attacks in the screens that looked like a mixture of older attacks put together or something.
We even had fucking X arts. Myopic screen is here.
Hell yeah! Now I'm not
Yeah,
fighting.
it's
Okay.
also, it looks like we got some new battle mechanics. Like, what the fuck is Moebius?
Oh, so in Japanese, there's more context for that. In Japanese, so in English, it just says Mobius up. But in Japanese, it's more like how when it says aquatic damage up and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's
people
just like
are
an
thinking-
elemental.
People are thinking that's what the Ouroboros and that one guy's species are, is Mobius.
Interesting. Okay.
That's like the only thing I could conclude from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when Ouroboros, eating the tail, Infinity, Mobius, all that stuff. It makes sense.
It's also interesting that there's an actual like unblockable stat there too.
Yeah, I'm also interested in like I was rewatching the trailer like earlier and was like, where's the cooldown timer on the arts? Like, what is there a way to like instantly restore the arts or something? Like, it was weird because it looked like they were just all active all the time or something like that.
You can
a
see
few
it in
times.
some of the screenshots, but the weird thing about that is it does look like a mix of auto attacks recharging and time recharging. Like the circle arts, they'll just fill up normally with time, but then the diamond shaped arts, you can actually see recharge of each auto attack.
Yeah.
And another thing is like looking at the battle UI. Are we going to be using both the D-pad and the face buttons for this?
Yes,
Bring it on.
I'm excited.
Interesting.
This is literally what I wanted them to do, and they did it. So
This
thank
is what
you,
it
Monolith.
needed to. Yeah, like this is what honestly, if they had mapped all the stuff in X to like all the arts in Xenoblade Cross to face buttons, I think it would have been even better.
Yeah, especially because it's 8 arts. We could have done that to begin with. So now here we are. We get the best of it's. This is adding to my X is dead because of Xenoblade 3.
I would be like, like have a toggle key in X to just change which arts you have up. Even like it would be that much like faster for me.
Which
than, like,
that's actually. That's kind of what I was thinking was going to happen in this game. Was we were going to have like because they all have weapons that have like 2 modes.
Yeah.
Like, Uni has a gun and a staff, Lance has a shield and a sword. I was thinking it was going to be like 4 arts at a time, and you swap the weapons, so instead of having them all recharge, or having them all visible but only recharge when using certain attacks, you would just swap them like blades, but this is much better. I like this a lot more.
Oh my god, it's Bloodborne! Anyway.
And I also like the, I'll be honest, I think the chain attack gauge is a bit too big. I kind of don't like how big it is on the
I also I don't like how it looks. It's a little I don't know. I'll get used to it, but
yeah.
I feel like sure every other iteration was better.
I'm not sure if I'm crazy about the color choice they have for the HUD. I like the way it looks. I just don't know if I care for that color.
Listen, orange is one of my least favorite colors, and I actually really like it.
What?
I don't know why. I really like this UI.
Honestly, I think it's not too bad even if it's orange, because they went for a more burned orange.
And it's translucent.
Yeah, I like that it's translucent. I definitely like that. I'm not sure if I care for it being orange. I feel like I would have gone with a different color, personally.
Okay.
I feel like blue would have worked a lot better. But
yeah, like a teal. But it's one of those things where like...
Well, if it was teal, it would have been X. We can't do that.
Pretty much.
Let me just chime in as a slightly colorblind person and say that I'm glad that they aren't color-coded, at least, because Xenoblade X like effed me up on that a little bit because I have trouble with like, oh yeah, this art type is this art type is that, and it was like it's all like just through colors, and I'm like, well, like certain colors for sure, but other colors I was like, wait, oh yeah, this was this kind of art again. My bad.
On that note, it does look like the UI and the art buttons we see may not be fully finished, which we do see a few other elements like that, like the map doesn't look super finished. They only have a sword icon and a heart icon. They don't have any of the shield icons or any of the other art stuff, so I'm curious if those will make it. Some of it was relegated. You can see like a break icon and stuff in the bottom corner, but some stuff is definitely still... It seems like some is still work in progress, so I'm curious how that's going to look.
Can we all at least agree that the health bar is like 10 times as readable as any of the other health bars in the series of games?
And they finally put the statuses to the side. They finally put it to the side. You can see it. Oh my god. As someone with really, really bad ADHD and really bad like visual processing issues, I can actually understand what's going on in this UI. For the first time in a Xenoblade game. It's really nice.
Dude, I get it. I try to play fighting games and that trips me up all the time.
God.
Yeah, it's like overall it's pretty solid. My gripes about the color I can't talk. My gripes about the color choice aside, I do think that it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna get used to it.
Oh, no, it's fire. That's why it's orange.
You had it right. It was Chelercois.
So true.
Chelercois.
If the theme of the thing is about weapons being triggered with fire, it makes sense if they chose orange.
Yeah.
Probably would have been less bad than red. I feel like red on this would have definitely...
Oh, yeah, definitely not red. No.
It would have been too dark. That's the thing. Like, like orange is like safe enough. It's not as bright as yellow, but it's not as like...
There is some red in this, but it's mixed with the orange. So
yeah, it's not the main color. I feel like if it was the main color, especially because I have an OLED now, my eyes would not know peace if it was
That
red.
said, I still think that the chain attack icon is a bit too big. I would move it personally.
If anything, it should have just been a gauge underneath the party members. I feel like there was room, to be honest. Like, I'm looking at the screenshot with the enemy bar. Something.
They have.
It was like, why is the aggro bar alone? The aggro icon is all the way alone in the top right corner, and there's so much space there that we could have shoved that up.
I feel like the chain attack thing could have been fixed if it didn't have to be a circle a little bit.
Well, so that's another thing. It looks like it builds up really differently, and instead of 3 segments, it looks like it has a bunch of little segments. So maybe it had to be. I don't know. Flame clocks. I'm just gonna say it's a flame clock, and that's why they're doing it. I don't like it. I definitely prefer every other iteration of the party gauge, but it will function. At least it's next to the arts. I guess that's good in terms of like readability. Like as you're doing arts and stuff, you can see it, but visually, I don't.
What is nice is that that's one thing about this game that definitely has some Persona vibes. When they showed that, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is the all-out attack."
Oh yeah, that
they do the eye. They even do the eye sparkle.
Yeah,
like which actually, as they do that, you can see, which we kind of already saw because there's that one shot where it's the 3 Ouroboros and the Nopon. Not only do they not have shadow forms, they also don't have the eye sparkle and the chain attack.
True, they don't.
But yeah, I have no idea how the chain attack is supposed to work. It looks interesting. Like, it looks like there's going to be TP this time.
I'm pretty happy with this HUD, honestly. Like overall, like there are some like slight gripes about it, but like this HUD is not bad and it's concise. You know.
Yeah.
What my biggest issue is how a chain attack gauge looks because it's a circle. I think that says a lot about how you do with the UI, considering the series past with UI design. Because X doesn't have a bad UI. X has a tiny UI that makes it bad.
It's X is like it's mixed because it's like it's not technically a bad UI, but it's like the kind of thing where I will admit, whenever I first looked at it, I was like it was like a brain overload because there was so much on screen at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
my issue isn't even that. I just can't fucking see it. Like, I'm playing on a big TV up close with glasses, and I'm still having issues reading it. And that's an issue that at least we've moved far past. Like, far, far past. They've learned since then.
What if the main reason they didn't port X was because they didn't want to change, like, the word size?
That's what I'm thinking a little bit. Well, also, did you guys know that it actually was worse in the Japanese release? It was smaller font in the Japanese release.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's bad.
Like, oh my god. And then I played, this is going to sound like a sin, I played a lot of X on the gamepad screen. I did
too.
You cannot see it. You would think it would help a little bit because you could shove the screen in your eyes, and it doesn't help at all.
No. I've played it a little bit on there, and I was like, it's a good thing I know what I'm doing already.
Yeah.
Just hit the goalie button.
But this looks a lot better. Like, even with my minor gripe of this chain attack bar, this is probably my favorite UI that they've done. Which I already thought about DE, and I guess DE was supposed to be like what they were planning in terms of a lot of things, like Future Connected was, and you can see a lot of that UI stuff. Like, the little icons look the character portraits looked like very, very close to what they did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I honestly like this HUD more than 2.
They have a UI team this time, compared to 2.
Yeah, I feel like Future Connected was definitely them testing the waters for this, for sure. Because, like you said, the icons look very similar, and it looks like they're just kind of taking that and just running with it and expanding on it, which I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
it's also nice that we're getting the driver combos back too, so we can topple, we can launch, we can daze, we can break.
Yep.
I mean, like, that's kind of a mainstay, isn't it? Driver combos, like.
Well, I feel like having both of them is the big thing, because we had 2 entirely different combos on each side, and now we have both of them that we can just choose, which I think is a really nice happy medium.
And it's also nice that we got, like, blade combo animations, like, in 2 as well.
Yeah, no, I really like that they're building off of that. And speaking of building off of 2, auto attack canceling is back. So everything is built based on the auto attacks, but they can actually move at a decent speed when their weapon is drawn. So it fixed my biggest complaint. Honestly, one of my only complaints with the 2 combat is now null and void, because they can actually move at a decent speed.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I hope that they can still movement cancel, because like once I discovered that became my favorite thing in Xenoblade 2.
I feel like every time we talk about 2, you mention that, and I feel so bad because I feel like they probably are going to try really hard not to have it.
I know.
And it was the first thing I thought about when I saw auto attack canceling. I was like, "Oh, Justin, oh no."
Okay, so this reminds me. This like reminds me. Like sometimes game developers actually take this as like a thing. It was like, okay, this was unintentional, but it made sense and people like it, so we keep it. And in some cases, it's something like, didn't the original Street Fighter have like the thing where canceling was actually a glitch for one thing, and they were just like, oh yeah, we should actually make this a game mechanic. I remember there was another game called there was a series called Tribes. It was a first-person shooter, and it had this like glitch in it where you could ski like down slopes. And it was totally a glitch, not intended, but because people loved it, whenever they made the sequel, Tribes Ascend or whatever, they made it where skiing was like a mechanic in the game, like built into the game on purpose. If they went like that route where they were like, oh yeah, like the canceling was not supposed to be part of the gameplay, but like whenever it comes to the auto attack, but we'll just make it like part of it because people liked it. Let's hope they go more like
Hopefully,
that route, because that was very fun. Yeah.
I would like for it to come back, like, a lot. I haven't been able to successfully do it a lot, but when I can, it's some of the most fun I have in that game.
As a person who loves to watch like speedruns and like a lot of glitches that happen, I am all for like game mechanics based off of glitches that just happen to be super fun. So, there you go.
I don't remember. Did FC have any of that? Because I know it was based on 1, but it also had a lot of the Torna engine quirks in it.
Wait, which one? Oh, you mean D or
no? Future Connected.
Oh, FC. I thought you said X.
No, sorry, my bad.
I was confused.
Because I haven't finished it, so I really have no idea if that's at all in there.
I'm actually trying to think now because I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think so. I think it was mostly like the same as like what.
It was for the most part Xenoblade 1's battle system. Like one of the big additions being the pawn specters.
Yeah. That was the only thing that I remember feeling anything different from like the original. Like it was definitely built on the same engine, like the same like battle system, but like just there was like a little hook thrown into it with the pawn specters.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I just realized when I did this document, there was 7 pages, and now there's 24.
That would be partially my fault.
I mean, to be fair,
I used a lot of pictures.
Yeah, you had bigger pictures than I did. I tried to shrink mine down, but I can actually see yours.
There's a lot. Yeah, a lot of pages are just like 2 screenshots.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
But yeah, it's. I guess like another concern I got for the combat is the way it sounds. We're gonna have 7 characters, so like,
oh boy,
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of characters talking and competing.
That's a Xenoblade game.
Yelling.
That's
Xenoblade 2 was pretty bad with that. I could deal with it fine, but like, it's gonna be a lot in this one, especially now that they're transforming too.
Like, I want a setting that is in Monster Hunter Rise where you can turn down the frequency of voices. So you still get that, but it makes it a lot less.
Yes. That would actually be pretty good.
Okay, also, this is only based on the trailer, but I was going to say that, for one, the voice lines seem slightly less like obstructive, and in some ways, I guess, less corny, even though like that's part of the charm in some ways. But I will also say that it didn't sound, and this was from a few snippets of time from the trailer, but I'm hoping based on that they are a bit less frequent, and that they're just kind of like, oh yeah, it feels like supplementary to the battle noises,
or just even like reaction based. Like they react like, oh, they toppled, oh, I should go for launch or something like that. Kind of like, which actually Monster Hunter Rise does that too. A lot of the voices that happen in battle aren't just general like grunts and stuff. Well, they do exist, but a lot of them will be like, oh, hey, there's an attack incoming. Oh, hey, you should probably take advantage of this. Or I'm going to take advantage of this, because it's usually first person since it's you talking. but it's also 7 people. I'm still processing the fact that we're going to have 7 to 8 people on screen at once in fields with all these enemies. Oh boy. And imagine you're fighting a group of enemies and fucking Rotbart comes, because he's back. We saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
would be a
technically,
Xenoblade
with our
without him.
blades, we had similar amount of characters.
With the blades, we had, 6 on screen at once?
Yeah, but then there was Future Connected with the 20 not ones.
Did they? So like I said, I must admit, I didn't finish Future Connected. I've seen a lot of it. I've seen the plot stuff, but I didn't finish it.
Can I ask, how far did you get?
Has Anthony finished Future Connected?
No,
he
I
has
have
not.
No,
Okay.
but I mean, there's not a.
True.
I mean, it's a pretty concise story. I will just say it that way. It's not that there aren't some plot points in it. It's just that mostly.
It's kind of more of a closure.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
epilogue. I mean, it's not focused on big revelations or anything.
So, the biggest revelation is probably between the beginning and the end. Rather than there being, this jumping point, this twist, or something like that.
Well,
So, it's.
Just ask you, what was your question, Chris?
No, I was going to just answer his question. I want to say that I left off where that fire happens and the racist comes up. That's all the context you guys really need when the racist set someone's house on fire. I think that was where I stopped, and I didn't stop because of the story. I just stopped because it was, DE came out during COVID, and right when I started playing, it was when I started getting back into the job force, so I didn't have time. And if I were to play 2, I feel like I would just focus my time on finishing the main story rather than playing Future Connected at this point. Because I only have 3 months. But yeah, no, so that's about where I left off, I think. Maybe slightly after.
I will say, I do hope that every time Mio and Noah transform, they say, "How are you inside me?"
No, she better say Ready or Gormati, I swear to God. That line better come back. Please.
I don't know if you guys looked at my notes, but phrasing!
How are you inside me? I hope they keep saying that in battle. That'd be great.
God. Did we already speak about the forums? Did I already gush about Tyon and Unis? Because I love the Zebulon vibes.
Yeah, we did already.
Okay, good. I need to make sure we mention that.
So another thing that we haven't mentioned, and this is probably something that people have been talking about left and right, is the queens, right? Queen of Agnes and Kieves, and how we're still. They haven't confirmed that it's Mia or not Mia, that it's Nia or Melia, but apparently the official subs on the Nintendo of America trailer actually wrote that it was Melia talking, and then that got changed recently to Queen.
Yeah, they changed it today.
I don't know I'm not really sure how to take this, because it's the same thing as if you would put the part of Xenoblade 1 where Dixon is like, what? Dixon says the thing and Otheron's like, what's that you say? But in the opening trailers before the game comes out.
Yeah. I really hope that plot point doesn't fall completely flat and still has impact in game, because they weren't hiding it well anyways.
No.
But it's just losing any impact I think it's going to have. So I really hope it has other presence. And considering she has a giant fucking mech, I feel like they will. So
don't get me wrong, it's a cool idea to if they are those characters, it's really cool to bring them back in this way, but by showing your hand this early, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, I just don't understand what's the point of hiding them.
Yeah, I don't mind them showing it, but they should have just showed it.
Yeah, just
especially
keep that secret.
The way that we were talking about it early on anyways, we were theorizing about them outliving everyone else and, traumatized life going on beyond their family. And it was really interesting. And now they're just kind of, I don't know. It's not ruined.
It could still be that. I mean,
no, and I'm not even talking about that, but it was just more exciting. But now that we're 2 trailers in, they're still trying to hide it. And now that sub thing happened, it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not handled well.
I don't think it was handled well either. Like, and I guess like maybe I'm a bit salty about it because I don't know how many people here played the new Sakura Wars, but they kind of did the exact same thing in that game where they had a character that was like, "Oh, is it such and such from the old game? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't," and then it turned out to not be them. And like, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't care for this whole is it them, is it not. I kind of feel like there's no reason for them to just not hide the fact that it's Melia or Nia. Like, wouldn't that not just make it people more excited if we knew this was Melia?
Yeah. Especially because if they wanted to hide it, why didn't they just use subtitles of Queen or Queen Antiqua from the start? It was kind of like they weren't hiding it literally at all. They're just like, "Hey, are they back?" And we're all kind of like, "Yes." And they're like, "Are they back?" And we're like, "Yes." And they're like, "They're back." Oh, but we weren't supposed to tell you that. We're like, "We know."
Okay, I'm going to preface this. I'm going to preface this joke. You can cut this out if you want. But are they living longer off that scorned virgin energy?
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways,
out with you.
I will say though, we have that relationship chart, which does show. For considering the subtitles, I'm just gonna go forth and just say Melia and Nia. I know the first episode we were kind of like being coy about it just in case, but they at least have a similar name if it's not them.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought it up. I just had to.
No, but
you're gonna get bonked, Nick.
But I really do wonder if I kind of have a feeling they may actually join our party by the end. Maybe they are the last Ouroboros form. Because I don't want to imagine a game where I have to kill them because they don't want to work with me.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine if we kill Melia?
Wait, oh no! Can you imagine if there's a route split and you have to pick a side?
Dead.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, no.
Okay, you know what? I would love that just to see the fallout. Like, people would be so mad.
Imagine if Fire Emblem Three Houses came in 2 parts.
I'm gonna be Team Melia, okay? I'm gonna be Team Melia. I don't care.
Hold on. Anthony, what do you have to say about this?
So, I've got 2 thoughts surrounding it. On the whole, whether or not it is or isn't Melia, I think it...
I'm sorry, I love how Nick is still losing it.
Let Anthony finish.
No, yeah. It's okay. I think at this point it's fairly safe to say that it is Melia, because of, and I know we didn't really want to talk about this, but the fact that Jenna Coleman kind of sort of spoiled Xenoblade 3 coming, the fact that it sounds like her voice a little bit modulated, albeit, but still, like, I feel like at this point it's fair to say that probably is Melia. If it isn't Melia, then this goes kind of segues into my other thought on this. They're pulling a Fire Emblem Awakening with the whole Marth thing, and like it's a character who is taking the name Melia, but it's actually somebody else underneath the mask.
Anthony creating more prerequisites to listen to this episode?
Well, even past that, I think in the first episode we kind of theorized that maybe it was kind of like a Gears reincarnation or like a family line thing.
It could be something like that too.
But I feel like they would have just used the last name if that was the case. The fact that they're using the first name has me just kind of like... It's just taking the steam out of it. I don't know. But I do hope it's more creative than that. Anthony, I like your idea a lot more, so please.
That's also I think I would actually prefer it if like it was like just not really the Nia and Melia that we know, but if there's like something to it. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, I just think it's so stupid for them to just hide it if it's just them.
Like, the actual decision for it to just be them is not the bad part, but the way they're handling it before release it just will kind of, I don't know. I'm sure once it releases, we'll be fine. But right now, in the lead up, it's definitely just kind of, oh, okay.
No, I am her daughter, Melia Antigua.
Oh my god.
Like, are you okay?
No.
He's having the time of his life tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
But yeah,
so-
going to the dock. I also like the next picture on the dock of Yuri on top of Tyon.
Yes.
Save him. He's being hugged. I mean,
phrasing,
why would I save him
phrasing.
for that? Oh, it's phrasing. Well, no, not phrasing. Well, I'll let you guys think of that what you think.
No. Listen.
It's not my fault that y'all minds in the gutter.
Listen, he said, look at the look on his face. Does that look like oh great, wonderful, I'm being hugged face? That's the reason I wrote that. Oh no, Tyon cannot deal with this hug.
On a serious note, I do wonder what is happening that he looks like that, because he does look genuinely distressed.
It almost looks like he was trying to save someone else's life, and she got him out of the way.
Yeah, she pushed him out of the way of something, for sure.
So who is he watching die? That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah. Also, just gonna say, marks on his hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw that. So we saw like the tiniest bit, but in this shot, we literally see that and the Ouroboros symbol in like full HD. So it's like, okay, good to know.
I thought that the last shot that we saw him with the mark on his hand, it was like the back of his hand, though, and this is the
No, it was he was running from the back, and we saw it on the.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the Ouroboros we saw in like an entirely different scene, and we only saw it at like a 70-degree angle or something. It was really weird, but we saw it. But now we don't have to zoom in anymore. It's right there.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the protags, I guess we could talk about real quick Noah's arm.
Yeah. That arm is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a theory that like he actually has a prosthetic arm.
Yeah,
because
there's been some frames, like whenever you stop the video, there's been some frame where that arm is actually disconnected and is reconnecting to the body while it transforms. And yeah, people think he had a prosthetics. I can't say this word.
Prosthetics.
Thank you. People say that he had that since he was younger or something.
Yeah, they say he was a child soldier, and actually in the concept art, you can like see a bandana around his arm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but also whoever took the screenshot, it looks like he's doing an OK symbol as he's flying with his sword. So good job there.
Yeah.
Oh, he has 5 fingers.
Speaking of swords, I really cannot get over how much Noah's sword, like in that one shot where it kind of splits into two, it looks like a combination of the Minato, but also Dunban's sword that he uses after he joined.
I feel like there's a bit of Pyra's sword too in there.
Oh yeah,
it's really fascinating to me because that the whole ring that they have in the blade is just so reminiscent of the Minato and such a callback to it that I cannot help but feel like we're going to see a Minato at some point in this story.
I don't think we will. I think they just like to reference stuff.
If anything, I feel we're going to see the what is not the philosophical Minato, because that's also its own separate thing.
Yeah.
But I think in the first episode we had mentioned, we were like, what if he's an Uzuki? Because he's got the look, he's got the sword, but we were like, why is he holding his sword weird? He's holding his sword in his art like it's a sheath, and he's ready to take that sword out, and that's literally what happens. So it's like, oh, I see what you did there.
I mean, he's hot enough to be an Uzuki, that's for sure.
Hey, good genes.
Whenever it's the big sword, it's like sheatheded, and basically it's like a 2-hand sword, and then when it transforms, it's like a 1-hand sword.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool.
Do you think he can punch people with that hand? I think he can punch people in combat.
Oh man, I hope so.
Oh my god, let him swap between slicing and punching. Oh my god.
Hold on. Even better yet, do you think he's gonna do an Iron Man beam? That would be cool. Like pew from his palm.
Also, I have a question for you guys, and this may be kind of out of order slightly. Well, I mean, it's not that out of order.
I mean, we're already very much out of order, so whatever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, how much you guys want to like? Well, okay, maybe not how much you want to bet, but I get this feeling that based on the fact that they've, well, I say fact anyway, the theory that they've introduced some mind manipulation elements into this, that maybe the clocks are actually manipulating the supposed Melia and Nia stand-ins here to do like their bidding on the part of like keeping their way of life going versus the Ouroboros thing.
Oh, there's an evil, like a Solaris kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like even in that shot. Yeah, exactly. Like in that shot behind like Melia or like the Melia figure, there is clearly one of the things that looks like the same thing Mio described as a clock behind her glowing.
Yeah, you see that on like all the weapons and all the mechs
and everything like that. And I'm like, I wonder if these are like some sort of like maybe not even evil, but like construct with like a different way of seeing life forms in general that is like manipulating them behind the scenes in general. Because
do
it's
y'all
like
remember what
if they actually are Melia and Nia, you don't want to like hate either of them, right? So what if someone else is pulling the strings?
So, I think I mentioned this in the first episode, and now that this has come out, I've seen a lot of people saying similar things that have a lot more backing to them than mine. But the two main characters, and I think other characters as well, there's that one blonde person too. They are soldiers, but they're also dedicated to like sending off the dead. And with such a short lifespan, I almost wonder if participating in the war is like actually allowing those lifespans to be expanded. And maybe the villain, especially if we're harking back to old series, is trying to like cut that cycle to allow everything to end and reset. Like maybe the 10-year lifespan isn't as much of an implanted thing as we think, and it's actually the universe trying to genuinely accelerate to that point. Which Blade 1 also kind of does with like the increase in Telethia and yada yada. But at the same time, do I know where that's going? No. I think there's something there. Like, I definitely think it's a mix of like political mind control of the masses and a complete misunderstanding of these systems. I mean, think these two nations were like clashed together from their own worlds, if we're understanding it correctly from the trailers. So they know nothing about this world, really. There's entirely new rules. We know nothing about this world, really. I don't know. I'm going to end it with that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot about this series that like taps into the whole like mononoaware kind of thing.
Also, another thing we did not mention that was in some of the early pictures is I think we did not mention it, but this picture when Noah is smaller and like he's in that city-like place where you see the planet. It looks. It's true that it really looks like this place at the end of Xenoblade 2 that I cannot say because Anthony.
I really want to talk about that because I have something that kind of like I have a point that someone brought up that I really think both explains and looks away from that point, but I also can't talk about it because of Anthony.
Okay.
But
all right.
Anthony?
All right. I'm gonna do y'all a favor.
No,
I'm gonna mute my sound bar for like 5 minutes. I'll set a timer, get it out of your systems, and then I'll come back. Okay?
Okay, just check in the chat on the side. We'll tell you when it's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay, fine. So,
Bye.
crackpot theory. I think that scene is something similar to like Faye, and I really think that Noah, because we already have the Zohar conduit shit in this universe. I'm genuinely wondering if that scene was like back on Earth or back on Elysium, which is what I'm thinking. Because if that was back in Elysium, he's really fucking close to the Zohar. But maybe he has been reincarnating as well, like most of those characters do? Is he the Xenoblade in this case? That's mostly a joke, but
yeah.
I don't know, because at the same time, while I'm leaning to that theory, physics-wise, that shot makes no sense, and it drives me insane. The World Tree goes straight up, and Elysium is a dome, straight up. So why does Earth look like that? So I want to believe it's that, and that it's just framing for the fact of cinematography. But at the same time, someone else brought up a really interesting thing, that it could be a Rinlu Chateau situation, where that's actually maybe the merging of the planets, and we're seeing it from their perspective as it happens. But I really want it to be Elysium, because I really want them to touch on that. Because as far as we know, because humans in 2 are descended from Titans. They aren't descended from the humans that were in Elysium. So what happened to them? I want to know what happened in Elysium, because we see the city destroyed from time, but it's not destroyed from, like, the actual event itself, as far as I'm understanding, especially because Mortho was fine. Well,
but do you
fine.
Do you think that maybe whenever the conduit actually, like, activated the first time, like, before, like, everything split up, do you think maybe, like, this could be a shot from them, maybe, and they got transported to another dimension?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, but it's also, I mean, so both 1 and 2 show us, like, the creation of species on those worlds, and very much specify that humans were created by those gods on that world. Like, especially in 1, because the Homs were created in a similar way to all the other life. And then in 2, you have the whole core crystal system. But at the same time, I kind of want that to be a lie. I kind of want the humans from Elysium to have survived and been somewhat involved.
I think it would be really cool if, like, something happened that they got transported, because, you know, like, anything that got to deal with, like, the Zohar or Conduit or whatever, most of the time when something disappears, it just get transported to some other dimension, you know? So it could very much be what happened. Also, this specific shot in the video, like, the time is completely frozen, which is kind of reminiscent of some stuff they did in the past with Xenosaga. And, you know, like, whenever the time would stop, as Shion would look at, like, the Zohar, and, like, something would communicate to her. Like, it feels something very similar to that's happening in there.
And then to disprove my theory, unfortunately, we have seen humans in the 2 universe, because the Goldos are essentially the humans that were transformed under the influence of the conduit. But please, I really want that to be what this is. I really hope that is Elysium. And I hope we do get... That's the type of stuff I would like light shed on. I don't need to see the reset for the 3rd time. But this, I would love to see. And I think that's a very interesting way to still explore that lore without retreading the exact same stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I honestly...
okay, no, but Nick is also saying something. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just hope the final boss is Takahashi.
So I actually, theory, and this is also spoiling Xenoblade 2, so I kind of got to say it now. I kind of think Ion may be somewhat related to the final boss, because Ion, mythology-wise, kind of fits a very similar role to what Deus was in Gears. So, like, I would be very down for that if so, but it also felt very... is underutilized a good word for Ion? Do y'all agree on that front?
I agree.
Yeah. So maybe that's fuel to that? Fuel. Haha. It is Deus. It really is fuel.
I mean, this is the 3rd part of the series. What is the Deus of this one?
Yeah, true. I guess, would Amalthus be the Deus of 2, if you really look at it?
I
don't know. The whole crystal cleansing system?
There was a giant neck at the end, too.
Well, yes, but I mean more in terms of, like, the plot relevance. Boss-wise, absolutely. But, like, because in plot-wise, Zanza's absolutely that in 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
because, like, in 2, it wasn't really a thing.
Yeah. If anything, like... Amalthus with the core crystal cleansing and using that for, like, his own personal gain to, like, reach God, I guess is the closest we got to that.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny to think about, like, the first game had, like, the hostile version of the god, and the second game had, the passive version of it.
Zanza is just Adam Howden's, like, tweets, while Klaus is the good... Sorry. Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna finish
Okay.
that show.
Should we tell Anthony that it's safe?
Yeah, I'm done. That's pretty much all I want to talk about on that.
Oh my god.
Shall we speak about hold
Graph?
on.
Let's talk about Graph. I heard.
Yeah, we can talk about Graph first.
Who's
Yeah.
Graph?
Basically, the cutie looking Ouroboros dude.
Graphzilla.
Graphzilla. We call him Graphzilla because he looks a bit like Graph from Xenogears, but at the same time kind of like Godzilla because of the teeth and the
But with
demonic
the
look.
teeth?
Oh, kind of like Venom a little too, with the.
I was thinking Venom when I first saw him.
True. It's a bit more Venom, I guess.
Oh,
But
that guy. The he looks like
Graphzilla.
he's
We're
an
calling
Ouroboros.
him Graphzilla for
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Like,
which he has. So all of the Ouroboros have this thing that looks almost identical to the overclock or overdrive clock in X. Like, I'm sure it's not the same, because I doubt they would do that, but it looks almost identical. He has two of them, if I remember correctly. He has another one somewhere else on his body.
okay.
I wonder what that's about, because if the Ouroboros are like a fusion of two people becoming one, why has he got another one?
Yeah.
What's going on there? He's also we haven't spoken about the one girl yet, Nemoe, but he's got the same like bluish crystal texture on certain parts of his body, and I'm wondering whether that is because she's somehow involved, or what I'm actually thinking is maybe if this is kind of similar to Gnosis, if that's similar to something like Gnosification, where you have either the Ouroboros option or you have kind of like where their bodies turn to salt. Maybe they're just like crystallizing, and that's how because something mentions that she dies. I forgot.
Yeah, it's something I wanted to come back to because I did find it pretty odd, and like I know we also know that the Iserd guy is like someone that was close to this person, and it seems to be saying something about she had dreams, but now she cannot really do them. Maybe it's the crystallization that's happening there. But also, the other thing with this dude, though, there's a part in the trailer where he also has that red eye going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe at one point he was fine, and then he got like the red eye thingy going on later on, like because he doesn't have it at first. But at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah, let me tell you, red eye is way worse than pink eye.
Like pulling all the jokes today. And also we also have this new Gomorti girl with green hair that's really cute. Like,
yeah,
she gives me Fire Emblem vibes, and I can't explain why.
Wait, which character are you talking about?
The Gorb. She's up on page 4. She has a bow and arrow.
Hey, what?
Listen, also we're gonna bring
up.
Where's the
Valdi?
You
Yes.
guys are...
No, that's not Valdi. Valdi's the Machina girl.
yeah.
Valdi.
Okay, so I'm thinking of someone. Okay, I'm thinking of someone else then.
She has green hair.
Hey,
She's under
okay, I see. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if this means anything symbolically, but the symbol for so you have the DPS, the shield, and that other class. It kind of looks like the symbol for Mercury. I don't know if Mercury is an alchemy, but I would not be surprised if that has something
I believe
to do
that
with
symbol is supposed to be healing.
Oh,
okay.
Listen, I honestly thought it was Prince.
Sure you did.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, they should just put Prince in the game.
Oh, also, Nick, those aren't status symbols. Those are class symbols.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Nah, you're good. I think it's less class and it's more role. And
that
maybe
actually
the
makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
It's a role thing. It is a role symbol. Kind of like Blade 2 had that actually, because you had tank.
Yeah.
Oh, the like weird and those like weird the class system where it just give you a title.
It was tank, healer, and attack.
Attacker,
DPS,
yeah.
You know, like,
and then you like a wild cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it was like wild cavalier and stuff like that.
So it's totally paradigm shift, right? No, I'm kidding.
Can we get like the dress up from? Actually, it is kind of that. Oh, it is kind of a magical girl dress up game. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Also, there's another thing I don't think we went over, but we kind of did, but we kind of didn't to that specific thing. There's a diary that Mio has in the trailer, and she mentions how she doesn't have much time left, and there's like some cross on like counting the days thing almost in the diary. Like, yeah, we wrote in the doc here. Yo, are you okay?
What's interesting about that's actually not Mio, apparently. The English subtitles show that was Nimue, the girl who's being crystallized, talking during that. However, I still assume that Mio is also counting down her time, because that feels very on purpose. But no, that's actually her. Which I guess adds to the crystallization stuff. Maybe we're onto something there.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, would have been nice to have these subtitles at launch of the trailer.
Yeah, instead of just like the YouTube generated ones.
But
yeah,
you know, like at least this time we did wait a bit longer, so we did have the subtitle by the time of recording.
True.
Listen, let's be honest here. They released this trailer earlier. It was like, oh yeah, GBA is coming to Switch. No, it's not. Look, there's
Oh, on that note, though, off topic, a lot of people are thinking that everything was pushed out early. I don't know how much of that has to do with other games and stuff like that, but did this trailer feel like an E3 type of trailer to anyone else?
It did feel kind of like it, yes, because it's a story trailer.
I'd say it feels like something I would have expected to have seen during the next Direct.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to get back to you guys. There's some people saying they're the Nintendo Ninjas outside my house right now. So, yeah.
Why did you mention Game Boy? Come on.
I'm sorry.
My thoughts on that are that we know that E3 was canceled, but at the same time, I do still feel like there's going to be a summer direct. But given that this game is now releasing in July, if they waited to June to show this trailer, I feel like that wouldn't have been enough time to generate hype. So, and then with the Splatoon trailer that launched today, and they just they announced a September 9th release date for that. My thoughts are that there's still going to be a summer direct, but they're going to have it chock full of like even bigger announcements. So they're just kind of like getting these games that have already been announced kind of out of the way. So that way they can focus on some like really big surprises for the summer. And I mean, I feel like that makes sense because the summer directs usually have some pretty big twisty turns in them.
Mm-hmm. But also I wanted to say, in the past, like with Xenoblade 2, I know that whenever they had that treehouse thing, like closer to release, they had showed like some gameplay, like for some time with some people talking. Like I know now, like E3 is canceled, but like they could still do something like that. We don't know. Like they might show a bit more too in the next direct, a bit before the release.
I'm just more wondering because I don't know. It almost feels like not to be that person because I know there's always this person, but I feel like maybe we're not getting a direct before that summer one because Xenoblade was moved up. We just got 2 really big reveals through just like Twitter reveals that I feel would have taken up a good portion of a direct. I don't know if we're going to get one of those before summer anymore.
No, I think you're right.
No, I think honestly, the next direct is going to be the summer direct.
Yeah.
That
feels
if I
right.
wasn't clear on that, I do think that the next one will be a summer direct that would have taken place around the time E3 was going to happen.
Yep.
I feel like it may be later. Like
maybe around Tokyo Game Show.
Later. That's what I was thinking, actually, like a kind of good bit later. Because Xenoblade 3 being moved up, not only does it affect a lot, it was also a very sudden decision. The game was announced in February, and they moved it up 2 months that quick. So, like, a lot of the marketing stuff also had to have been moved up. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good thing, though, because, I mean, we're getting the game earlier, so...
Yeah, Takahashi called in and said,
it's not a good thing. I have 3 months to get through Xenoblade 2!
You'll be fine. Just don't try to get Cosmo.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Take your time. Take your time. Takahashi called in and said, "So, Nintendo, we're like sitting here with our thumbs up our asses right now. Like, can we get the game out faster?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure. Like, we need we need to promote Pokemon better in the winter anyway. So whatever, you know."
They might be releasing it faster to get more staff from Monolith Soft on Breath of the Wild too.
I actually was gonna mention that at one
Yeah.
point. Like a lot of people, and also Monolith does help assist on Splatoon too. So I could really see that a lot of these games are being like Splatoon was slightly delayed. Breath of the Wild has now been delayed again. I think they're trying to free up staff, but at least they had an actual team for most of the game's development compared to with 2, where they had like 42 of their actual staff helping.
Yeah.
Oh no, we need world building. Let's call Monolith in.
Let's knock at Molly's door. Da, 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 da.
I love how this is an absolute tangent, but I love how Breath of the Wild is fuck. We can't get this world to stop. We can't get the pots to stay in place because we keep moving the wind. Monolith, help us!
Yeah.
Which, speaking of world building, we can kind of segue from that. Did you guys take a look at the relationship chart that came out?
I don't think I saw
I
that.
did not.
The one that a friend of ours translated by chance?
Yes.
Oh no, that one. Oh yeah.
Oh, so can I mention something from that, or do we
Sure.
want to do a summary of it first?
You know what? Mention it, and then we can go into it.
So
what you do.
one of the funniest parts in this, but also maybe kind of implies something lore-wise or story-wise, is Noah's relationship with the male Nopon, who I think his name is Riku.
Riku, yeah.
Riku. Is he's mad at Noah for breaking something, which is kind of funny, but at the same time, what did he break? Part of me is like, is his arm gonna break plot-wise for a little bit? Is he gonna have to get it repaired? I'm like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Riku is a mechanic.
It was actually
I'm also not quite sure what Riku and Manana are talking about in terms of gemstone. I've been trying to figure out what that is.
It was actually just Saito shooting a low blow at Nomura, is what it was.
Also, I kind of like the line Riku has towards Manana, where he's just like, "I can't believe she throw a pot and then ride it."
Yeah,
I think that's pretty funny. Kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild, actually.
Oh, we forgot. Just since we're talking about the Nopon, can we talk about the scene with the 3 Ouroboros, like all edgy and tall, and then you have the tiny Nopon just in the background? I hope all the cutscenes with them are like that. I really do.
Here's my take: the Nopon come in, they're a bit ball.
Honestly, though, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I'd buy a game with that combat.
It's the scene from Xenoblade 1 everyone wanted in battle.
I kind of do wonder, though, if the Nopon are going to have a mechanic like blades, because there's 2 of them. And they're the only party member that is 2. So I wonder if they'll have like a swap-in mechanic. Maybe they'll like recycle Vanguard.
Yeah,
which would be kind of cool.
We'll have an
because I could see Manana just like sliding in on her little pot into battle.
Ooh, banana.
So it's also kind of interesting that like you should look at what Guernica Vandom. Well, first of all, that is such a weird name, Guernica.
Do you know what that means? It's actually got a really cool thing behind it. Sorry. Guernica is actually an art piece by Pablo Picasso.
Yeah, like I'm familiar with that painting. I just thought that was kind of interesting to assign to Vandom.
Well, so he's very anti-war, and that painting is a very, very, very anti-war painting. Yeah. So it's probably just something along the lines of that.
Edgy Death Vandom?
Huh?
I said edgy Death Vandom?
Well, I don't know if it would necessarily be edgy. It'd be more that he's trying to like put an end to the conflict. Because
I get you. I'm just saying if you've seen Guernica, it's mostly black.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, if you like see his line, he says like, the enemy is elsewhere. Like they're trying to find the land of the standing longsword, which I believe actually has a name.
Swordmark?
Swordmark. Because on the Nintendo UK site, they mentioned Swordmark, and it says a land pierced by a giant sword.
See, I don't know if it's Mark or what, but it sounded like he said Marsh.
I
Like,
heard
that could be
Marsh,
Marsh.
March. I don't think we'll know until the game comes
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
It's very unclear. It's very unclear.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, he's probably referring to that, so that's kind of nice.
Though
And
I
we got
gotta
a
say, like this particular trailer, it didn't set like the mood for me the same way the first one did. I don't know if
Honestly,
anybody-
I was more into the mood of this one.
really.
It
Okay.
kind of got
to be
me more.
honest. Yeah.
Maybe
Like, I really
because of the
like that
hype.
they showed. I really like that they showed more in this one, like as far as like, oh, we know what this and this and this is going to be, but like the mood of the first one, like with the music and the cinematography and the way everything was framed,
Mm.
I guess I just like the mystery of it, and it made it hit harder for me personally.
I feel like I really just ride off the fact that they pumped up the release date by 2 months, so it made the entire thing, because that was the first thing I saw. So off the bat, it was already more exciting than the first trailer. But the first trailer, I think it may be my favorite reveal trailer of the Blade series, probably.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Personally,
Like X is probably slightly behind it, even though it does have a lot
I
of.
think there's one of the X reveal trailer that I really enjoyed.
Is it the one with the scene of them flying the mechs over the ocean?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that fucking trailer
Yeah.
so much. Oh my god. That's why it's like, I really think that's probably my favorite, but I think it's about to beat it. Like, once I play the game and have the actual in-game context, I'll probably be more of a fan of that.
yeah, the cross reveal was hype.
Oh, we only have
Okay.
5 minutes. Oh my, okay.
Can we go a bit over, because we did not even like go over this sheet? Like, I
we
think
don't have
need-
that much more left, but we should move on. Yes.
Yes, let's move on.
Okay, so
Yeah. So, what I like about the sheet is that what I like about the trailer in general is that we kind of got to see more characters,
mhm.
like Kamaravi,
Yeah.
and I also think it's interesting how certain characters have titles now.
Yes! Yes,
Like-
yes.
We have Ethel, which I'm not sure what her title's supposed to be. I think it's Ethel the Silver, but that's like because that's the translation that we got from our friend, and I've seen that elsewhere.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that's like some Dark Souls sounding shit.
Yeah, and then Kamarabi is like Kamarabi the Red. Is another title that we got from the translations, and
Mhm.
it's cool that they have those titles. I think they sound amazing.
I
Oh, yeah, they sound
definitely
awesome.
like it when characters have titles.
Yeah,
That's why I'm in the Discord. I have mine.
and also like since we mentioned that like Xenoblade 2 had the different classes, I think we might have like a sneak peek at some of those because like they definitely describe Noah as a sword fighter and Lance as a heavy guard or Yuni as a medic gunner.
And Mio's the fucking Dunban. I love it.
That is great.
Yeah, it is great.
I know there's the Ramses looking Iserd that
Yes.
I know Kat's excited about.
I don't know why he also kind of reminded me of Alan a little bit, but he did.
Ramses.
But what's also kind of interesting is that like
Alan.
what's also kind of interesting is you kind of see like the parallels from both sides.
Yeah.
Like Ethel's got some sort of grudge against Lance, and Kamarabi has something against Senna.
Yeah.
I can't look at Kamarabi without thinking of like the Lancer from Fate, which I will describe as Lancer because I don't want to spoil that series if anyone wants to watch it.
Mm-hmm. And then the mysterious giant guy that looks like Graf. That for whatever reason they're just attacking everybody, and we don't really know why or much about them for that matter.
You just want to come over and say, "Do you desire the power?"
Yeah.
So, do you guys think this is gonna be the like Colony 9 moment? Because we see after like the last scene of the trailer, we see them like standing with a bunch of like blue particles going up, which look very similar to the blue particles when they play the flutes and the what is it called? Is it Opseer in English?
Yeah, they are off-seers.
Yeah.
Off-series, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
They're
So I'm
cool.
wondering if that's
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just I'm genuinely curious how the beginning of this game is, especially since we're getting all 6 of them. I don't know how much we can fall within that same expectation, or any of our previous expectations.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot that is still pretty
There's a
up in
lot
the
of
air.
questions in the
There
air.
are a lot of
like,
questions.
That's
we
good.
And
will see a lot of
and we
it
like that.
when we play.
Where's
Yeah, we
Poppy?
like it.
The most important
like
question. Where's
And
Poppy?
we're still kind of like understanding who the characters are and like their personality. Like I believe it was said before that like Uni has a short temper, and according to the relationship chart, Tyon kind of notices that. He's kind of just like, I kind of hate how she just like snaps at everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
Tyon is like the balance.
Tyon's like the calm, cool-headed one, and
Yeah,
whereas Uni's the one with the short fuse.
what a pair.
Which is like funny because like the way people draw Uni in like artwork is the complete opposite of that.
Well,
Yeah.
like, I mean, to be fair, a lot of times she seems like the kind of person to let her emotions kind of like take over in some ways, and so I can see
Pretty
like in the
much.
moment she would be happy-go-lucky, but whenever things go sour, she would go quickly to like her temperamental side.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well,
So like I get that, it makes sense. You can be more multifaceted than that.
Did we already mention the Lance and Cena thing where like Lance is pretty much like worried about Cena, the 90 character, and like Cena is like Cena just wants to crush everything in front of. Wait, I'm not sure how these arrows are going. Is this talking about Cena? Because hold on, him or her?
So the original chart was showing like what their thoughts were towards the other
Okay,
person.
okay.
Like I think Senna was kind of just like, I'm just gonna hit stuff
Yeah,
in
pretty
front of
much.
you. Yeah,
Sena is like the
I'm gonna
character
go
that
smash
seems to be
things.
like, yeah, she's stronger than she looks like, but I could
Yeah,
see
pretty much. Yeah, I just
evil
got thrown
fingers
off because
small
the
and
doc had
Yeah.
ears. I was like, wait. But yeah, this is kind of funny though. See, there's just like, let's smash, and Lance is like, oh shit.
Hulk smash.
So I know this is kind of already what it is, but do you guys think we're going to go back to having an end game affinity chart?
Probably.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, the affinity chart stuff would not bother me. I loved that in Xenoblade 2 that were tied to basically what you would normally tie to like achievements in a lot of games is like, oh yeah, this unlocks another part of the affinity chart. I thought that was a kind of a brilliant design choice.
Mhm.
I really want them to do like a combo of them because I like the focus of like the world being the affinity chart, while in 2 it was like town development and then the blade affinity chart. But I like that it was more accomplishment focused and gave you more out of filling out that chart rather than just unlocking quests.
Yeah, like it was like a mix, and
Yeah.
I think that like one of the smarter ways to do that is to like, oh yeah, like there's these things you wouldn't necessarily think to do in this way, but they are encouraged for you to do them because you have to kind of go out of your way and think outside the box to achieve these things.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like I really enjoyed the Xenoblade 2 Affinity chart because it felt like an achievements list where it's like, oh, this is a way to play the game, but you might not have thought to do it this way unless you were looking at this. And I think that brings a lot out of the gameplay that you would not get if you were just playing through it straight through without thinking of the nuance to it. And it's the thing that keeps you in the mindset of that said nuance.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so I think with that we've covered pretty much most of like the major things and stuff that's
Mhm.
really stuck out to us in this trailer. So I guess like now would probably be a pretty good time to kind of just wrap it up because of course
Yes.
like we could poke at this for hours on end, but I feel like
yeah.
it's better if we just wait for more info to come out because it is still
Yeah.
coming out in English and the game isn't that far off. So we'll have plenty more to say about it, talk about if our theories were correct. And yeah, so one of the last things we could talk about is something we
TV?
mentioned earlier.
Oh, never mind.
The special edition. Why Nintendo? Why you do this? Why you do this?
I thought we were going to bring up TP. I was like, did we talk much about TP?
Well, we briefly mentioned
did,
it.
yeah.
And honestly, there's not a lot to say about it.
Yeah, we don't know.
it's
It's really just theorizing at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely theorizing. Well, I feel like we went over a lot of it at the start of the episode, for sure.
But yes,
but it does look like it could potentially go towards like those combination bonus things.
But yeah, hopefully at the moment the pre-orders for the limited edition aren't available right as of this recording.
If they are, I'm screwed.
I just checked. There's no announcement yet.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Oh, but yeah, everyone get ready for that. That's gonna be
I'm going to sleep tonight. Like
I'm ready, but I'm not ready mentally for the stress that this is gonna cause because it's so much less stressful to just order from retail for me. And also the cost of the shipping. Like at least when it's a retail, I don't have to pay shipping. I just go and pay the price of the game. That's it. But yeah,
I'm not excited for Nintendo to release 5 of them and say, "Oh, so sorry, they sold out. Oh well."
Yeah.
Nothing we can do. Definitely can't make more of them or anything like that. That would make too much sense. We really hate
also,
money.
I can't wait to have my copy 3 weeks later. Because that happened with East 9. Like I got it almost a month later because I was so far away.
What were you saying, Tyler?
I was just going to ask Anthony one last question.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Yeah, go for it.
So, besides there being a very short time limit, based on what you've seen of Xenoblade 3, does that make you more interested / excited to get to play Xenoblade 2 more?
So while this episode was going on, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but you guys mentioned that there's a character in Xenoblade 2 named Nia that seems to be in the game and in this trailer. And I was like, well, hold on a second. And I think the exact frame in the trailer is, I think, at like, hang on a second. Yeah, like 234. Where I'm looking at this character with gray hair, yellow eyes, and cat ears, and I have no idea who this is. So then I went and I looked at a picture of Nia, and this definitely does look like an older version of her. That said,
actually, the one we're mentioning, I don't know if you're looking at Mio, because the one in the trailer of Xenoblade 3 we're talking about has a mask. You don't see her eyes.
Oh. Well,
if it makes you feel better, when I first saw the first trailer, I actually thought it was straight up her. I was like, why is she wearing a mask if she's just in this other scene? So
yeah,
well, that does make me feel a little bit.
We were thinking at the beginning in the first trailer, we were thinking that this was one and the same person, possibly. Even I was thinking that because their look is so similar. But yeah, the one we think is the one with the mask. That is the queen of one of the nation.
We're kind of like in the place of, I mean, it seems so obvious that it's like you guess that, and then they throw you that one curveball after the fact, and it's not that,
Okay.
Yeah, we're just saying like the Nya-like character.
But to answer your question directly, I suppose, yes. I'm seeing little bits and pieces throughout these trailers that are definitely callbacks to Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And that excites me. That said, a vast majority of this conversation that I've been listening to tells me that there are a ton of references and callbacks to the things that I have yet to see in 2. So, am I excited? Absolutely. And that's why I'm planning on starting it like right after we're done recording this. I really cannot wait to get my hands on it because the world of All Rest is
the Kirby Marathon is canceled. It's all Xenoblade now.
Well, there's gonna be a slight delay in the Kirby Marathon, I think, but that's for
there is gonna be a delay.
Yeah, that's for,
we'll be talking about that later.
We'll make announcements on that on the Retro Roulette side of things.
Yes,
but so yeah, I'm very excited to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've been excited to play it now that I finally beaten Elden Ring, and I don't have to see you died for the 87th trillionth time, I can finally go back to playing a game where it's going to remind me that the enemies are too strong and I need to dip to casual mode.
They don't do that in Xenoblade 2.
Oh, thank Christ! Immediately, it's a better game. Immediately, 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10, 20 out of 10, 20 out of 10, this game is better.
I mean, at least it does that and doesn't do the thing where it's like just doesn't tell you like Resident Evil 4. So, you know.
Anyway, so yes, I'm.
Also, fuck you for hating on Xenoblade Cross. Fuck you.
Wait, that was about X. I thought that was about DE. How dare you?
That was about DE.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
It also happens in Cross. Fuck you!
I really don't like that feature in DE. I think it works fine in X, though.
Oh my god.
I didn't even know they did. I did not even know they did that in Cross. But thank you for telling me I should not play Cross.
No!
No, you should play it. It's good.
I'm just messing.
You only have a year to download it, please.
Alright, it's getting too wild.
I'll help you.
Bring it in.
I'm just kidding.
All
I'm
right.
just kidding. Alright, but
Alright, guys,
Fuck
let's
you.
wrap
I'm
up.
kidding.
Let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
I
we're
want to
gonna.
go to bed.
Yeah, I think we're good. We've spoken over 2 hours. So
Okay, you can.
for
you
a
can-
3-minute trailer.
Whoops.
No, it's totally. This is
Honestly,
great
you can
discussion.
cut all that. I was kidding. Don't worry.
Now I'm probably
No,
never
it's
going to watch
a-
the trailer again until release.
No, that's fair.
Ah.
All right. Do we want to go around and discuss what we're up to, or should we just leave it as is for right now?
We can discuss what we're up to.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be quick.
Yeah, I'll
right.
I'll go first real fast. So
Okay, go
over
ahead.
at Retro Roulette, we're currently working our way through Puyo-thon or Kirby-thon, and we're going to be taking a quick break from that for a variety of reasons, and then I'm also going to be starting Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as we just talked about, and I'm going to be playing that steadily as often as I can. I only plan on playing it on stream because I do want XenoChat and all of my friends who are really into these games to share the experience with me. That's one of the reasons why I love streaming as much as I do, is really just so that way other people can live vicariously through my virgin eyes.
Oh.
And that's basically what I've been up to. Why don't we move it down down the line? Chris, go ahead.
Oh.
I ain't got nothing to present, to be honest, but thanks.
Oh, what you playing?
I just bought Elden Ring. I played it for 30 minutes, realized I needed a lot more time to dedicate it than I could before a day of work. And then I just got a PC, so I may make a comeback to streaming, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Oh.
Chris.
Let me know if you
I
get
have-
Monster Hunter Rise on PC.
I am not double dipping, because if I did, I'd abandon Tim on the Switch.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it looks so good. I tried the demo. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Nick?
I was just saying the demo was quite fun. I was going to say on the Elden Ring thing, I've put over 200 hours into that game, and I'm still not done exploring all of it, and it has got such good exploration, and I'm just like, I can't stop.
It just makes me feel bad at video games, so that's why I was like, I ain't got the energy for this.
No, like, I completely understand. Like, I'm in the last dungeon, and I just won't go back to it because I'm like, I forgot to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. And it hits me, like, I'm weak. I'm one of those people who are weak for open world games, so I understand. It like gets my exploration sense going in a similar way to what Xeno games do. I've got nothing to plug, by the way, other than like the other day I streamed some Kirby Mass Attack, and I might stream more in the future. I'll give people who know me a heads up. You know, if you want to really seek me out, you'll probably see that heads up as well.
All right. How about you, Mary?
I've been streaming. I still stream like some Genshin here and there, and right now, main game wise, I'm in Horizon Zero Dawn. I wanted to maybe stream tonight, but I don't think it's happening, and I'd rather just go in Anthony's stream. So So I'll probably stream again on Sunday, but yeah, I've been saving that, and also I have officially all my parts for my new PC, so I'm gonna build that soon. Hopefully by next month, because I need a supervisor. I need an adult to follow me into these steps.
If you want to
And
stream it and
also,
let me help, I'll do it. Whatever.
I'm gonna have a friend come over, but
That works.
yeah. Also, this is the last time you guys are probably gonna hear me on this shitty webcam mic, because I'm also gonna order a professional mic.
Hell yeah!
Good.
Ooh,
So
Nice.
upgrades.
great.
Pretty much it.
Nice. All right. How about you, Justin?
So really, with me, it's been the Kirby marathon. We've been playing a lot of those games. I've finished a lot of them. Still can't believe I managed to finish Tilt and Tumble. Every day I tell myself, "Holy crap! I actually did that." I
With
look
the
at my GameCube.
GameCube.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that was wild. You were
I
just
did
like
that.
you were just like lifting and tickling like the whole GameCube.
Still one
So
of
Did
the
you
most
almost
impressive
drop
things
it at
you've
some
done to
point?
date.
definitely check out the VOD of that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we played a lot of other stuff. I think the last one I finished was Canvas Curse.
Should Retro Roulette just host the Curb Olympics or something at this point?
I really liked Poyothon. Can we call it that? That was
Poyo-
cute.
Poyoton!
That is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poyo!
Yeah, we're gonna, like Anthony said, we are going to delay part of the the Poyothon for a bit, because of a couple things that's going on, and
Nothing.
we will still
Nothing.
play it on Sunday. Anthony and I will be playing Return to Dreamland, so that'll be up.
I'm excited.
And by the time
for that.
by the time this episode is out, the VOD should be available for that. So definitely check that out.
Return to Dreamland is a great game.
Yeah, that's really everything I've got to say.
Okay. All right. So for me, I did recently have an article on RPG Fan about so you want to get into the Xeno series, which just kind of the basic thesis of it is basically you can just jump in any Xeno game and it's okay. Don't
Not
worry.
Xenosaga 2.
Well, not Xenosaga 2. I'm sorry, Europe. I'm so sorry, Europe.
Xenosaga Freaks is fine, not Xenosaga
2. Yeah. But yeah, that's on RPG Fan. And I finished Disco Elysium, and now I'm very sad because that's a really great game, and I'm sad it's done.
Oh, do I have a video to share with you, Jin?
Oh no. Oh no.
That's off topic. No worries.
Okay. I'll see after the recording. But that's basically it. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us tonight, and the guests and everybody. Thank you. This was a very fun discussion. So excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yes.
So sad for Digimon Survive.
Hopefully it'll survive.
An engine.
I will say, definitely check out Digimon Survive. Like, yes, we're talking about Xenoblade, but I do want to give a special shout out to that game because, like, it looks really interesting, and it would be such a shame that if it gets overlooked.
That's a nice game you got there. Be a dying shame if a major IP released at the same time as it.
Yeah,
so I can't afford both.
Yeah, I would probably get it, but like I can't afford like the Xeno merch and game mod along with it. So I'm gonna probably wait if there's still stock, like a month or two later. Like I'll see.
Yeah,
I'm a shockingly big fan of Digimon, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna get it on sale.
I'm just gonna say, like, get it at some point, because what I don't want to happen is it completely flops, nobody buys it, and then there we go. That's one less strategy RPG we can't get anymore.
Also, the Digimon series is about to die in terms of games, so please do consider buying it at some point at least.
So that money you're putting on your Pokemon pre-order, put that on Digimon.
No! No. Give the fat rat your money. You don't get to escape Pokemon.
I'm sorry, that was too good to pass up. Anyway, yeah, you should buy Digimon Survive.
Yes.
Xenoblade, you should also buy, but that's gonna make its money probably.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna make its money definitely.
but
Yeah.
So if like the last few episodes, I believe, were the Xenoblade 10-year anniversary, our April Fool's sewer episode, which was really fun.
No, let's be real. Take some money away from Pokemon. Wait until it goes on sale.
Well,
I want Pokemon to go on sale.
Yes.
Yeah, Pokemon won't get rare and
Pokemon also doesn't go on sale, really.
I know, that's why I'm saying let's
rare, so
try
you can
to
wait.
finish.
Let's bring it back, guys.
Let's force its hand. That's all I'm
trying to finish the episode.
Let's let it speak.
Sorry. Go on.
You're stuck here. Sorry.
This episode will never end. But anyway,
are you saying Ouroboros?
It's a wild type. This passage of fate.
Guys, let's let Tyler finish.
Yeah. All right. So if you want to comment or give us feedback, our Twitter is XenoChat Podcast, and our email address is xenochatpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, all right. So thank you again for everyone that joined the discussion and listeners, and just have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
XenoChat, we deep.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Save the game?
How are you inside me?
Adam Howden's tweets.
His likes, actually.
Can we take a 5-minute break really fast, actually, while we're waiting for him to come back?
Okay.
No breaks, JK.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get some water and maybe a snack if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, don't close out of anything.
Oh, definitely not. If you guys want to start and I'm not back yet, send me a message on Discord. I'll have my phone.
You have nothing to fear, because I am here.
I guess this is blooper time.
There is a pause button, but I'm too afraid to press it. There is a pause button, but I'm too... Oh, we're taking a break.
We're taking a small break.
Okay. I thought maybe
like still record. Then I'm going to do Anthony's break segment, which is where I basically I go a cappella and I do Xenoblade tunes. So let's play a game. I'm gonna a cappella a Xenoblade tune, and you guys are going to tell me what tune it is. Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, I know this.
I know this one. It is isn't it Green Hill Zone?
Yeah, actually. Holy shit! How did you know?
Wait.
I tell you, man, I'm just good at this stuff.
Oh wow! I wasn't even. I didn't think that you'd ever like like figure out that I was going for Sonic the Hedgehog here, especially when I said that I was going to do a Xenoblade song.
Who wants to hear
like-
my stirring a drink ASMR?
That is stirring the drink ASMR. What
I
you
can,
what you sipping on?
got a
there,
little bit of
Brad?
beer left.
So much drinking ASMR.
It's got ice in it.
Overkill.
Oh, you getting some whiskey?
Oh, I've been drinking whiskey for the past hour, dude.
Hell yeah.
Sipping on the whiskey.
I'm drinking the last bit of my boba.
Oh, I gotta go back to my bubble tea place. They got this one apple thing. It like straight up tastes like you're drinking an apple pie.
Oh, I gotta go back to my boba tea place too. Wait, it doesn't exist!
Huh?
I'll mail you bubble tea. I got you. I'll just run up to where you live and I'll bring you some. Wait, aren't you in Arkansas? Sorry, that doesn't sound the episode. Aren't you in Arkansas?
Yeah, I am, but like there are a few, but they're pretty much all in Little Rock.
Oh no! The reason I asked, I was literally just in Arkansas, and I was just like, "Wait a minute, you live there?" Oops.
Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, sorry. We were up in the
Chicken
northwest corner, I think.
So you were in like Fayetteville or something?
Springdale, I think.
Okay, yes, Fayetteville, Rogers, Spring. They're all the
Okay.
same town.
Okay.
They don't want to admit it, but they're all the same town. Like there is no separation.
It's all just Walmart.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing. They're also right next to Bentonville, and Bentonville is the home, of Walmart.
No, there's so many. Oh my god, there were so many.
That's the only place in the state where there's like a Walmart to go. It's insane.
A Walmart to go?
It's a gas station Walmart.
Oh, those! Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
you know
if you saw
what?
those, you
The
really...
first drone delivery Walmart has been opened, and it's in Arkansas.
I mean, Arkansas is where Walmart was born. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
No, it's just wild. Walmart drone delivery.
Yeah, it is wild.
Tyler, I just saw your message and it was like, "Hey, tag me an arcade guest book." When I go back, no.
Yeah, because like I didn't see it until you came back, and then I was like, "Oh, and then I was like, "No."
Also, I'm good with that. I'm tired, so yeah, we can go
Shall
for
we-
30 minutes.
Shall we go back on track?
Yes,
Nick,
we should.
wait, Nick just left.
Oh, Nick just left. Okay, so we'll wait for Nick to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear him leave.
So where are we at? Because I saw we were kind of following the doc. Where are we at in the doc?
We're not exactly following
So
it.
we-
Back and forth.
We talked about Noah's hand.
Uh-huh. Oh, have we talked about the one that everyone's calling Wild Ride yet? Passage of Fate guy.
Well, we mentioned that already.
Okay.
We mentioned the line, but we did not really mention his design.
Because he has something that I want to mention, and it's more X related, but this game is looking like what stabbed X sequel in the back, so I'm going to mention it anyways.
Now I guess would be a good time to mention, since we're on break. After we're done recording this episode, I'm going to start Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'm going to be streaming it on Twitch. So if you want to yell at me and tell me to play the game correctly, that would you'll have your opportunity. But I will be starting it after we're done recording here. So I've got nothing else to do tonight.
That's not Kirby.
Kirby is cancelled. It's Xenoblade time now.
Sir, I have until the end of July, and it's a long game, and I'm going to not rush it.
So here's my question. Are you going to play on Bringer?
You have 300 hours worth of content on there.
No, he's not going to play on Bringer of Chaos mode.
Good.
Answer your question.
Good, because I know people want to have fun, but I never recommend people play it on the first time. So whenever people do, I'm like, have fun.
Also, I have a giant window, and I had to look out it to check on my cat. And does anybody have their TV like right next to their window? Because I think I pulled like a first in the universe of like jerking away so far from the window that I hit my mouth on the TV.
Ouch.
And kind of hurt, but I'm okay. No, man, I don't think it's first in the universe. It was like a really odd occurrence, is all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, that was at the plop sound. That wasn't at what you're saying there.
I almost busted my top lip on the fucking TV. Jesus Christ.
That was at the what sound? You were laughing at what?
I hope it was my joke about the status effect that I brought up.
No, I think it was at the sound you made, Anthony.
Oh, it was me. Okay, I did it. It's my fault.
No.
We laughed at an inappropriate time. Success.
No.
Also, Justin, how do you feel about those fake Xenoblade battle themes?
Oh my goodness! It's funny because you were insisting that like they were on the website too, and I was like trying to find them, and I couldn't find them.
I thought it was, and I almost said that to someone, and then I went to fact check, and that's when I found it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they got me.
Oh.
Wait, so hold on a second.
Yeah, no, it was a WarioWare theme and a Scott the Woz fan-made anime battle theme.
Oh my god.
Because you can see a picture of Scott the Woz in the video. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I actually found out, I was like, oh.
So wait, the songs that you posted in the Discord weren't...
Mm-hmm.
Those are fake.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Mm-hmm. It was the WarioWare credits theme, one of them.
Wow. Kudos.
Whoever did this, you got all of XenoChat. Congratulations.
We all fell for fake news.
Wait, Justin, so that music you said that had dropped was actually not...
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had been listening to it throughout the day, too.
I'm so sorry.
It's good music, though.
Yeah! They turned me on to some tracks. I feel lied to.
That's a positive, at least.
I was Scott the Wozen today. JK, I wasn't.
There you are! You monsters!
Yeah.
Oh, what are you gonna say, Nick?
Guys,
it was like
where is this what do you call it? Document you referencing? Because I have not.
Didn't Tyler repost it?
Hold on a second.
It's an arcade guest book or pinned in prep.
Anthony, give me a moment.
Wow, he's been going off the books this whole time. Good job. You got some good memory.
Wait, who is this? There you are.
They're both in the Discord.
Anthony, I'm sending you the document.
I mean, it's already there.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, Tyler even reposted it.
I know. I'm just making it easier to navigate.
Okay, so you said page 4?
Yeah.
So, no, I was just going to bring up that we skipped past my very excellent joke of the status effects by the people in the pictures, and it was like, the sword is clearly attack, the shield is clearly defense, and the other symbol that we don't know yet is clearly the artist formerly known as Prince. Anyway, that was all I had.
You know what? I totally didn't repost it.
Oh.
How are you inside me?
Okay, good job!